Okay. All right, welcome to the planning board meeting, Thursday, May 21st, 2026. Tonight we have a public hearing at 6:30, which we'll all walk up to the dais behind us and sit there and conduct that public hearing. It's a second session of the public hearing on the Baxter project, 1506 to 1512 Main Street. Prior to that, we'll do some general business. First item up on the agenda is to approve the April 16th draft minutes. Anybody have any comments on you had sent some comments?
I sent comments to Cindy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, so the minutes that are in your folder were revised with Ray's comments and Laura's.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I had a couple of just minor comments. I can give you this to you if you'd rather, or should I say it? Or
Whatever's easy for the board.
If they're minor, you know.
Yeah, under general business, I just put in there, the board was advised that speakers do not need to be sworn in during a public hearing. Okay, and then on the DG staff upstates, the next to the the one about the speed bumps, where it says GA suggested to get a professional traffic study to evaluate. What I would suggest is taking out study to evaluate and then traffic engineer to develop the appropriate design, layout, and signage for any permanent installation. And then the last thing is at the very end, you have 10 a.m. moved to adjourn the meeting. It would be 10 p.m.
If it was 10 a.m. would be a problem.
Yeah, it was a long meeting.
We'd have bagels before that, but.
So I'll give you these.
I have a technical question, and that is under the slope ordinance. And then on the back of the first page, it talks about if greater than 4 feet on a high slope, a secret type 1, okay? What if a wall or a 4-foot high buffer, not buffer, but wall, we'll call it a wall, is not holding back a slope? Does this still apply?
The secret. No. So yeah, the way the code reads is it says walls on a single slope. So the wall, it's more effectively part of the slope. It's hard because we currently don't have a retaining wall code, so we're developing that.
Okay.
But you're saying just a freestanding wall.
Yeah,
like,
let's say
Well, I would argue it's not a retaining wall then.
yeah, it's more of just a.
So then this only applies to retaining walls.
Oh, well, I thought it was just talking about 4-foot high walls. Does it say the word retaining? Yes, it does, okay. So then we do have a distinction.
Yeah, and it's four retaining walls where 4 feet is planning board, and then the 6 feet is the secret requirement. So currently, trying to change that.
But I'm just, because I know that in doing landscaping, some people do put up a wall that is not holding back a slope. Like maybe somebody wants a raised bed, or maybe they wanted part of their driveway or something like that. So I was wondering if there was a distinction, or just pointed out.
Well, a retaining wall, if the surcharge behind the retaining wall is flat, it's still a retaining wall. If it's sloped, it has a greater surcharge against it, so it's a different
I
design.
see what you're saying.
So it's still technically a retaining wall. If it's a
Okay.
freestanding wall, like you wanted a private patio or something,
But
that's.
let's say it's a freestanding wall, but it has,
Drainage?
openings in it to allow the drainage to pass through, then it's not gonna hold anything back.
Well, it's still holding the soil.
But I think what
Well,
she's
yeah.
saying is it's not, it's
Right.
just on top, it's not like.
Oh, there's
Well,
nothing
it's
behind
Just
it.
decorative.
Oh,
Like you just said,
then-
it was for
that's
privacy and
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah.
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 Would still
But
have to go.
smart
Yeah.
distinction is any wall like that would need to have
Oh, yeah.
some sort of openings, or else it will be,
Right, an issue
right?
for drainage.
Sitting wall.
I vote that we approve the minutes as amended.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next planning board meeting is June 18th, 2026. And we have at least one public hearing, correct, Cindy?
Yes, we have the overlook public hearing.
Okay. And we're gonna start with that meeting, because this hearing that we're having tonight is a continuation of a hearing that was started previously. Any new hearings are gonna be advertised at 6 o'clock, so we don't have to sit down here, go up there and come back down. We can start up there at 6 and then just come down. It's easier.
So Ray, just, can I take a poll, since we didn't, we still don't have more members. I might not be at the next meeting. Is everyone else going to be at the next meeting?
What's the date?
June 18th.
Yeah, I should be there.
You won't be here.
I'll be there.
So is 3 enough, just in
Yeah.
case?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can send a letter in full support.
Oh, that's, you're talking about the Board of Trustees meeting?
Yeah.
That's next week.
Oh, that's next week.
Yeah, that's the 27th at
Right.
6
What's
o'clock.
June?
18th is our
June
next
18th is
meeting.
our
Our
next
next meeting?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I will not be.
okay, all right. So we'll have 3, us 3.
Unless I can
Yeah, you can.
convert,
Okay,
we'll see.
all right. Okay. Staff updates?
Not a whole lot, actually. So I guess the only thing I would add is we've had, one thing I wanted to update you guys on is that the old Fort Jeff Brewery site, we had a meeting with the Montauk Brewery Company, if you guys know them out in Montauk, who has now made a proposal to move into that space.
Oh,
They are, the way it's currently done is that, because they want to try to get started as soon as possible, they're matching every single thing that Port Jeff Brewery did, so the same layout, the same amount of seats, the same amount of, basically not doing anything to the
that's
building.
smart, yeah.
With the exception of they're gonna change the bar right now for the big boat. They'd rather a different type of like bar, I believe, just to fit their aesthetic a little bit more.
But no more seats. No extra seats.
No extra seats, they said.
Okay.
Yeah, they said no more, so they might come back in the future to do an actual site plan amendment.
Mhm.
But one of the things we wanted to talk to you guys about is, we talked to village council about it, and they said because it's been within less than a year, because this was a conditional use permit. Because it's been less than a year, technically the conditional use permit hasn't expired, and they aren't changing anything about the property at all. As staff, we said we were okay with it proceeding towards it, but we wanted to obviously raise it in front of you guys in case there's any concerns.
Are they keeping the seating outside on the patio?
They're trying to do it within their site. So we had actually one of our, we did talk to them because our supervisor of code enforcement had a couple comments about because in the past, how people leaving the site with drinks and some of the music and stuff. So they're trying to change it a little bit. They might have security there or someone there to make sure everything stays within the site. And also that all the seating stays within their sites. They're trying to be a little bit more responsible to the.
So they cannot use that courtyard area?
They can.
Okay.
I believe that's been allowed to them. It's just
Yeah, that's what I
not
thought.
going past it. It's just
Right.
making sure it
Oh,
stays.
I
They always
see.
had fencing around it.
Right.
They always had fencing, but there was always problems with people, leaving in there. So that's one of the things they want to work on. And it was a good comment, and they were very responsive to it. So that's something
Yeah.
that's, will probably happen. They also mentioned the music, which they're probably going to keep, but they're going to try to be a little bit more down with it, like not as, it might be more acoustical,
Okay.
it might be more like.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'd love to get the input from the business district on any of the possible limitations on the brewery. And if we had to, just to get their input, I'm assuming it was a real positive for a lot of the businesses down there to have the music and the, right? But let's make it let's codify whatever it was that wasn't codified, but get input from all of the interested parties, right?
think
So that
that
we
the-
could make an informed
I
decision.
think the
Yeah.
problem is timing.
Yeah.
They wanna go right now, right?
Yeah,
So, so we could.
if they were gonna
If they-
change.
If they're gonna change,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, my question was, because it is a conditional, because we could talk to them, because it's up to the board, if the board's okay with the proceeding, but we could have them come in to do a revised resolution or something, or rather wait for the full site plan amendment when it comes comes in next year.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
But again, let's get input from the, yeah.
I have a question. On a conditional use permit, is, if it hasn't expired, is it transferable to a new business, or that we don't really, it's not clear?
It's not
Not
super clear.
not
Yeah,
super
so you like other municipalities like where I was previously out east, and out there was no, you couldn't once it didn't run with the land, it would expire with the sale or I believe.
And it changed.
Yeah. This one. So the thing is, what they've said is there's code that allows, as the opinion of the building inspector, within the C1 and C2 district, as long as it's going from they wrote permanent use to permanent use, and there's no changes to parking, exterior, or anything of that nature, it's allowed to go without planning board approval. We talked to the attorneys about it because we said, well, what about a conditional use to a conditional use? You guys might remember the boutique that went through. The only difference between that one is that the seating changed, so that triggered the parking, so that made it come in. This one's relatively exactly the same, so council thought it was okay to fall within that exemption to go forward. But that's kind of where that determination came from. But then we did request for them in writing about the security, about the music, just so we have some documentation about what they're willing to work with us on and hopefully adhere to as part of this year. And then next year, if they want to come in and change some things, go in front of the planning board for formal review and comment.
In terms of the music, that would include hours?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no objection if they move into the space and the only thing they're changing is the style of the bar.
That's what they said.
Okay.
So hopefully, they said they just don't want the boat doesn't fit their aesthetic, so they said.
A lighthouse instead.
Yeah. But they said no seating at the bar, but still like just purely for serving. And, yeah.
No, I have no objections.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
It's important
It is,
tenant
Yeah.
for downtown.
yeah.
Yeah.
It brings in a lot of people.
Yeah. So, okay. All right.
Otherwise, progress.
Okay, nothing else?
No, just I guess the last thing we're still kind of working through. I know we promised the ESL codes this meeting. Still just a little working through some of those things. We have that, and we have updated fees coming before the board. We're trying to be more responsive to they haven't been raised in I forget how many years, but it's been a very long time. So raising our fees a little bit is something that should be coming soon.
Okay.
I know our new budget's based on those, so we're trying to work
Yep.
that going
Get
forward.
it done.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, we got like 10 minutes. Can we do the first work session or? Sure.
Yeah, well, that one we wanted
Crest?
to, or we were gonna, we had a couple of Germans tonight.
Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah, I
That's-
Oh, that one's adjourned?
Oh, all right, so we're ready.
The problem with that one,
35 Hillcrest.
yeah, so
Okay.
the problem was we didn't receive the information until, yesterday. Yeah, so we haven't had time to review what's been received. They are primarily from the zoning board right now, so the zoning board review is still continuing. They're doing their secret review process.
Yeah.
So they'll probably come back to the planning board in June for a formal, if the zoning board grants it. Yeah, there was a few adjournments tonight. So there was
What else?
35 Hillcrest. There
And the
was
steamboat.
450 Myrtle, the Fairhaven property.
Oh, that's also,
That also came off because of concerns about the just legal process and stuff. They're kind of.
so I was confused, we are not lead agency on that.
No, so that's our
were we
secret.
were they just asking for our input on the demolition and asbestos?
So we referred it to you. So this yeah. So we referred it to you, the planning board. This was actually the code also allows for any building permit to be issued related to an active site plan. It's usually supposed to go to the planning board first before you issue anything.
Okay.
They told us recently that they were going in for an asbestos abatement. But when we speaking to our building inspector, they count that simply is more of a demolition activity. It should be a demo permit should go alongside that. So before we issue the permit, the planning board would have to review it and go through if they were acceptable, do a demolition first. But I guess that whole framework.
Do they have a demolition and construction plan aside from the asbestos plan?
We just got it.
Okay.
Very recently.
Because,
Yeah.
we didn't see any of this because we weren't,
Exactly.
But I got it in an email.
no, I meant just an overall general construction plan.
Oh.
Yeah, we've asked for it, we've gotten some of it, I know, problem is, so this review is a little behind, because we just got the engineering approved for, it's actually JRH. There's some issues with, HADA and conflict of interest, so, Tom Rowski's group is actually gonna be reviewing it for the village, for engineering, and that just got approved at the last board of trustees. I just got the signed letter today, so
Okay.
they still need engineer comments, they still need DPW comments, they still need new fire marshal comments, so they're,
Okay.
yeah, there's a lot
Okay.
going on with them, so.
I was wondering, thank you for
You're
clarifying what, what exactly, and it, yeah.
Yeah. No, no problem.
What else has been adjourned? Anything else?
The last item was 102 West Broadway.
Yes,
Yeah.
so they had some issues with utilities, which might require them to do some changes to drainage and some of the street layout, so they requested adjournment to the fall.
Yeah.
No
And then I saw your comment, and I'm curious about, I didn't know if they were informing the village just so that the village would know what was going on, or if the village was gonna be picking up the tab.
I think the letter from National Grid said that they would approach the village to pay for the work. And I
Okay.
was like, why would we do that?
I didn't
Yeah.
get that distinction. I thought it was more like, hey, we have to do this on your property. We have to go and
It-
figure out where it is, but very good point to get clarified.
Yeah, I've had a long-running battle with utilities and having municipalities have to pay for utility upgrade.
Yeah.
When it's their equipment and they're on village
And
right away.
we all pay for it,
Right,
right?
right, and it's, that's.
I agree,
that's it. Yeah.
and definitely, I don't know how we find the answer to
Well, I guess
that.
it really depends if the village says, and that's why I put it out there, because,
Yeah,
hopefully somebody in the village says, no, we're
We're
not
not.
paying for this. They were
Yeah.
coming in, upgrading all their facilities along Main Street anyway, so.
It wouldn't be unheard of for the applicant to
Oh, no.
cover that cost.
Because it benefits the applicant,
Yeah.
and that's basically what I said was either, why wouldn't the applicant or,
Or
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
utility company.
right,
Yeah.
right, so,
yeah, because we all pay that delivery fee,
right,
which doubles constantly,
yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, thanks, Gil.
It's my little pet peeve.
I like it, and
Yeah.
I appreciate the comment. It went right past me, so I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything else? Updates? Got a lot of pre-submissions?
Yeah, we got some for the old building next to Dark Horse, we got a couple interested in that one, and also the little fish market right here, 113.
Okay.
Some pre-subs recently about different ideas, mostly like restaurant ideas, but
Wow.
it's exciting, some stuff coming in.
Something
so,
happening.
Yeah.
Taco place is great.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Refreshing. Hopefully they make it through
And
the
it's
season.
Right.
really nice guys too.
I've heard that he has a big internet sales business. That's,
Oh, good.
that's really what he's all about. And so,
Okay.
I think I've heard it all. Should I turn it on?
I'm gonna be on.
No, I had heard that, yes,
Right.
it is base businesses, internet sales.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
the retail sales is gravy.
Right, right.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
So it's good for stability.
yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice to see something stick around in there.
Yeah.
Anything on Conifer too, whatever, PJ Crossings or whatever?
Yeah, so we've been, I know, it's been a while, we've been.
Slowly I turn.
BJ Crossing,
Step by
no,
step.
it's not the other.
They are, they so they're having some, oh wait, it's Commons too. Commons too.
Commons.
Yeah,
Okay,
I always mix it up. They're having some problems with the county. So I think it's Suffolk County DPW, if I'm not mistaken. They've had some comments and they're going back and forth with them right now. Huh?
Sewer comments?
No, not sewer, public works, I think.
Well, it would be,
There-
that'd be.
Yeah.
When does their approval run out?
It's usually within 24 months unless
Have
actively
they applied
pursued.
for an extension?
That was approved 20.
I think we have somebody who could maybe answer that?
Yeah, I was the engineer on that. It is sewer, where we've been going back and forth with DPW on the sewer connections. We're hoping that this is it, and we get approval in the next week or two, I will let my client know that they may need to apply for.
I'd love a second bite of that apple, so yeah.
Thank you.
We'll check the
You're
resolution.
actually, that's,
Perfect timing.
that works out. So that's, yeah, so we're waiting, we have the developer basically ready, we're just waiting for.
Right, right.
That side,
Okay.
so.
Yep, cool.
All right, okay. We'll, by the time we get set up, it'll be 6:30. Known as the Baxter on Main Street. Cindy, if you want to read in the particulars, it may take longer than the actual
Yes.
rest of the hearing.
Okay. Public hearing for 1506, 1510, 1512 Main Street, Site Development Plan, The Baxter, application number PB-0757-25. Location is 1506, 1510, and 1512 Main Street. Suffolk County Tax Map number is Section 21, Block 4, Lots 15, 17, and 18. Zoning is C1 Commercial District. The applicant is the Upper Harbor PJ Realty LLC. Property owner is the Upper Harbor PJ Realty LLC.
Contact Eric Nicosia, RA. Description, the application seeks a site development plan and conditional use approval for the redevelopment of properties located at 1506, 1510, and 1512 Main Street. The proposal includes demolition of several existing vacant commercial structures and construction of a new approximately 36,385 square foot, 4-story mixed-use building containing 40 residential rental units, approximately 3,390 square feet of ground floor commercial space and resident amenities. The continuation of a public hearing that was opened on April 16th, 2026 and was adjourned to May 21st, 2026.
Okay, so the purpose of reconvening the hearing is really to see if there's any additional comments other than those that were expressed, and I think 1 or 2 written comments were handed in at the opening portion of the hearing. Staff has told me that there have been no additional written comments received following the original portion of the hearing. So the only purpose tonight is to put in the hearing, and we're going to have a work session after this to discuss particulars. But the only purpose of this public hearing is to see if there's anyone who's here tonight who would like to speak and make some comments about the project. If you would, want to come up and state your name and address.
Bob Larrabee, 214 Maiden Lane.
Okay.
Bob Larrabee, 214 Maiden Lane. We had met with Dan as part of the tree committee process, and I had suggested maybe considering what's called structural soil under the sidewalk units. And I don't know if the developer was able to accommodate that recommendation, but I would encourage them to utilize that. It produces a much more viable street tree. As you know, the street trees up there are pretty well distressed. One makes the Charlie Brown Christmas tree look like a vigorous specimen. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Would anybody from the applicant's staff like to respond to that, or we can discuss it in the work session following this?
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Eric J. Russo, Van Brunt, Jesuiac and Russo, with offices at 140 Main Street, Sayville, representing the applicant, Upper Harbor Port Jeff Realty LLC, 414 Main Street, Suite 202, Port Jefferson. I just have a question for the chairman and the board so that I can be clear. You're saying the purpose of this evening's hearing is just to see if there's any further public comments. And then you're going to close the public hearing. And what action did you anticipate in closing it? Reserving decision and moving forward?
I think, we'll check with staff, with the board here, but I think it's moving forward.
I'm trying to be clear. Closing the public hearing, and are we coming back again?
Not for a public hearing, No, we'll be.
So you, at that point, would close the public hearing, and when would you be making a determination?
We could make the determination this evening.
At the work session?
Yes.
Okay, so let me, before you, I just want to be clear.
Or actually, while we're up.
I want to be clear about this thing, because the concern that I have here, under General Municipal Law, Section 239M, and also under General Municipal Law, Section 239NN, notice had to be sent to the Suffolk County Planning Commission to alert them as to this application and ask for a recommendation. In addition, a notice had to be sent to the town of Brookhaven because the property is within 500 feet of the town-village line, just to put them on notice that this application is pending, if they wanted to comment or if they wanted to send back any response. And to my knowledge, And when I read the comments that have been provided to me as of midday today, Suffolk County Planning Commission has not received any recommendation request as to the project. They were requested to ascertain if they wanted to be lead agency. You were electing to choose that, which was determined weeks ago, and they came back and said, you're the lead agency.
Right.
So my concern is that if you close the public hearing, you're not able to open it if they come back with comments, or if the town of Brookhaven has any comments. And that's my concern as to that. In addition to that, we provided over 2 weeks ago all the necessary documents for review, and I know the planning staff has been looking at them, and as of midday today, I received the staff recommendations, which were all of 2 pages, and on the second page, there are approximately 10, 11 items that they're asking for direction and input from you as the board as to how you wish to proceed and if you're going to accept the documents that were provided by the applicant and his consultants. So I'm just a little unclear where we're going and how we're going to get to the part where you make a decision. Because if you close the hearing, Suffolk County Planning, there was a statement made that you needed CEQA to send it to Suffolk County Planning Commission. You do not need to do that. It could have been sent weeks ago. In the applications I've made in various municipalities, they send it to Suffolk County Planning, and they come back and say it's a matter of local determination. Or they send the notice to a municipality within 500 feet, and either there's no response, but you've complied with the requirement under general municipal law. So my concern here is exactly what action are we taking? If we're closing the public hearing, I'm going to urge you not to do that. And I'm going to urge you that you send it to Suffolk County Planning Commission, whether you make a CEQA determination or not this evening, and you send a notice to the town of Brookhaven. Then as to the other conditions that have been raised in the comments and concerns about the easements, we provided the draft documents in consultation with the village attorney. And I just want to be clear, they're asking for clarifications or comments from New York State DOT. There's also a suggestion in there that prior to site plan approval and or construction, that New York State DOT permits be issued and Suffolk County Health Department application approval be issued in the comments, which are not necessarily needed for your planning board to make a determination. Those are permits that are secured after you've given us a planning board approval, and while we're anticipating filing for a building permit, we would have those 2 approvals in, and we would supply them to the plans examiner or the building inspector to review. So I just want to be clear exactly where you're, as a board, looking to go with this application. Because I don't want to have a misstep that would have to cause us to re-advertise, reopen a public hearing.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, and we don't want to have that happen either.
Okay.
My understanding was, I thought that Suffolk County Planning had come in with a statement that it was a matter of local determination. No. Yeah, why don't you come up there, and I'm not sure about the town of Brookhaven.
I'll step aside. Good evening. All right, Dan Gross, senior planner. Is obviously the writer of the staff report. So I defended just comment on a couple of things. First of all, with respect to Suffolk County, I reached out to them individually because there was a miscommunication in the first part. We did, back in the way beginning, we referred to them as part of the coordinated review. They mistakenly assumed that was the 239 referral, and they scheduled it for work session. And then I got a follow-up email asking if SECRET was completed yet. And I reiterated back to them that said, no, this was part of the coordinated review. And what the correspondence was that I have in my emails, I can certainly share, was that SECRET had to be done first before before the 239 referral. And it was a little confusing. I sent a follow-up email only about a week ago or a week or 2 ago, asking to clarify, just to clarify, is SECRET referral required before we refer to the county? And the answer was yes. At least from, I spoke to Christine DeSalvo from the county before we referred to them.
Okay.
That's the comments I received. Jim Burke and I were speaking about it. It's a little confusing because it's not typical practice. We were a little like, so obviously I have no problem with it going with the county. I was not at all trying to say that what's it called, is precluding anything. The reason the staff report's written the way it was being responsive to what the county told us, was that we had to go through SECRA, and then once we do that, before any final approval is given, they'll review it for comment and provide those comments. So that's why this is written the way it was, and that's why it's currently like that. I'm happy to go back to the county though and clarify further. Brookhaven Town, yes, I agree. I know we tried to reach out to them. We tried to reach out to the IDA. We got kickbacks. We can certainly work with it. Well, I have a point of contact now, so we're gonna do that tonight or tomorrow morning. I apologize on that front.
Okay.
The other comments too, with respect to Suffolk County, all the other approvals, again, staff reports are not legal language. They're just things I'm right, or recommendations from staff, and I apologize if they're misinterpreted wrong. We understand a lot of those are conditions of approval, especially, meaning like the planning board can still issue their approval just subject to final approval by the state, by Suffolk County, DPW, by Suffolk County Health Services, etc. And that's all we were recommending. We're not recommending that it preclude them from any final action towards the board tonight. I was concerned though with the board taking final action before the county. So hence why the whole secret thing and the way it's written. And obviously we'll get more to it during work session. I just, I'm doing the direction of the powers that be.
Okay. So that being said, do you have a feeling on closing the hearing or not closing? We should not close it?
I didn't
Keep it open?
think there was an issue with personally closing it. I don't know, but defer to council, but.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a concern about closing it, we can keep it open to the next meeting. You can have the hearing tonight.
Yeah.
Keep it open to the next meeting. We'll refer it over to the Suffolk County Planning Commission. As Eric said, it's probably 95% is going to be local determination. I think we fully expect that.
Yeah.
It's news to me that it would, usually you refer the complete application. Once you have the complete application, you go to the Suffolk County Planning Commission. Maybe, the fact that he was saying he got advised, that Dan got advised that he needed a full secret determination, that would be news to me. So, but that's the way to address it tonight. I think we could we'll keep it open. We'll send it over, and if that's okay, but let's have the hearing and then knock out 95% of the project, and then we'll just wait for that determination. As I said, I think most likely going to be local determination. I mean, if you wanted to close it tonight, you get local determination. You can make a decision at the next meeting. Just say we got a report that it's local determination and you're done. If you want to belt suspended, any concern about any kind of conditions that might come back, keep it open and then close it at the next meeting.
Yeah, I guess my feeling is keep it open.
I have just a suggestion in terms of timing, not slow down the process. I mean, in order for us to make a final determination, we need a resolution, which I don't believe we have tonight anyway.
No.
So could we work on resolution to have it ready for the next hearing?
Yeah, that'll be up to the staff. Have that ready. There's the question repeatedly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was putting up the email for
No
Jim.
problem.
My thought was, even if we close the hearing tonight, we would still need another meeting in order to have a resolution prepared.
Yes.
So we could vote on the resolution. So my thought was, since we have this kind of referral issue, and we can't act tonight or not close the hearing, that we, during this next month, work on the resolution, at least get it in form, so that at the next meeting, we get county it does not object, doesn't have any non-jurisdictional, and we can move on a resolution 30 days from now.
So, so my only concern with that is, and it's up to the board, of course, is that there was a lot of comments from obviously Haydock Engineering, like Mr. Russo said, right? There's comments that Haydock gave as part of their review, and the applicants responded to them. And those are things we just wanted the board to review before moving towards final action. We can definitely draft a resolution. My only concern is if the plans are acceptable from the board's standpoint. DPW requested a bit more information. I have sign-offs from the fire marshal Brian and Todd met with them this afternoon, no, this morning actually, and I got a sign-off letter from them. But technically, Haiti hasn't seen the new changes, that's, again, it's up to the board. So, I mean, there's a lot in the staff report, it's just, we can definitely draft it, just I don't know if the board wants to review their most recent set of plans. We got it on April 30th, the staff report summarized their comments for them. Most of our comments were very minor in nature. I think there were a lot of stuff that could be conditions of approval. If the board wants to choose to grant it. Yeah, I mean, that's all I would say. Just precautionary, that's all. As long as they're not concerned with the plans, concerned with everything going forward, you know, I don't think we have an issue for that.
Okay. All right, so if you could reach out to the county and town in the meantime and maybe have something rough draft?
So you want to do this, so you want the next step be?
Well, based on our work session comments
Well, that's my
today,
question.
because I still want to look at what,
That's my question.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just want to do the work session?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I just want to make sure that's,
yes.
so definitely, based on the work session, I'm happy to draft a resolution and talk to the county and Brookhaven and try to get this under wraps, so.
All right. All right.
Sorry.
So, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, what I would request on behalf of the applicant is, it doesn't necessitate having an email or having a phone call with the county planning commission or the town clerk. The notice simply has to go to the town clerk's office. The town clerk, they'll refer it to planning within their own division. They'll either act or not act, and if they don't act, then you've complied with the requirement under general municipal law, and you're free to proceed. As far as the referral to Suffolk County Planning, by sending the 230, what you're going to be sending is the form, completed form to them. If they respond and simply say that it's a matter of local determination, you're free. If they add a condition, then that condition gets placed in as part of the resolution that this board would adopt, or if you deem it not necessary, you've then entered into the sphere where you get their input and you're done with it and you can proceed. As far as the items that are in the comment letter, which are very thorough, and I said that we could discuss them, and there are about 11 of them that we could review in the work session, and I think once you review them, you would agree it's okay, check the box, move on, and I think the suggestion by Mr. Rosner to have a resolution prepared so that you could vote on it on June the 18th and leave the public hearing open so that if anything else comes up, you're free to address it. I think that would be best rather than closing it. It's my suggestion. I don't know if your village attorney would agree with that. That's between you and Ken.
You mean keep it open until the 18th?
Until the 18th.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, it almost sounded like you were saying address it on the 18th
No.
and keep it open.
No. Talk about it on the 18th
Right.
and approve it on the
Yeah, I think
18th.
that's-
And what I'm indicating is that if we in work session go through the other items on the last page, and there are approximately 11, I think between the engineer I have for traffic, the engineer I have for the site plan, myself and Mr. Burke, we could work through everything so that you'd be able to draft a resolution and move forward and get an approval on the 18th of June if everybody's acceptable to that.
Okay, well, that's possible, sure.
And so at this point in time, I have nothing further to offer, and
Okay.
I would encourage and look forward to discussing it in work session.
Okay.
I said one minor.
You want, go ahead.
No, just minor
Yeah.
thing. Just in case, there's also a part 2 that's been fully prepared for the board's consideration. So,
Oh.
if you want to do secret, we did prepare it. It's in all your packets, so just want to
Okay.
put that out there as well.
All right,
I was not aware of that.
okay.
Sure.
All right. Anyone else before we, all right. Can I get a motion to adjourn the hearing until June 18th?
Make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Move back down.
No problem. Oh, there's one. I'll do that.
Okay, now it's time for the work session on the Baxter project, so who would like to come up from the applicant? We're gonna take turns, or?
Looks like I'm volunteering so far. You're working busy.
No one else coming with you?
I'll sit behind him and have his back.
He's got your back.
Oh, we got it right there. Right back.
Yeah, we got enough mics. Okay, where do you want to begin, Dan?
Here we
Okay,
go.
Comments? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Any- From the staff report, or?
Yeah, I guess we'll start with the recommendation page, is probably the best first place to start, right? There's a lot in there.
You know, when you talk about the revised ground floor, if we could have it up and you could point to what was changed,
Sure.
that would be great.
Yeah, you wanna start with just the floor plans for us?
Where are you gonna start?
Right, recommendations page, go line through the line. Page 9.
We cut out 9 pages, so,
Thank
or
goodness.
8 pages, so we're starting with page 9.
Sounds like a plan.
Large font, I guess.
It's a site plan.
The ground floor,
I guess I'll start talking about all these. Yeah, this should be, it's probably, I don't think we got it most recently, it might be in the March. Set.
yeah, it was, we discussed it in March and we discussed it April 16th.
Yeah.
Both March 16th and April 16th is when the plan was done.
Yeah, the staff report is just updated, it's, it
Yeah.
didn't reflect any of it yet. So, yeah, this is the most
Isn't
recent.
that it?
Yes.
That's the plan.
Exactly, so you might remember there used to be that covered plaza.
Yeah.
In the bottom, in the southeastern corner of the building, and then they since filled it in, which expanded the retail space slightly from like 3390 square feet to 3450.
It's the red line. You see the red line?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought that had been revised last meeting, so
Yeah,
that's why I was
originally,
confused. So-
originally it was, this portion was part of the blue common area. We had the lounge there. We hence moved it to the basement and, right, so we expanded the retail and this was the piece that was
Okay.
filled in.
Okay, thank you.
Eric, what is
Yeah, I
the
was-
other red area that you
Utility.
in the utility?
Yeah,
area?
so I needed more utility area, so this has a door out to the alley, and that's gonna end up being our water sprinkler room. And this area was enlarged a little bit for the utility area also.
What was
Storage
it-
utility.
What was it previously?
It was, this little sliver was into that, it was like a little storage area for
the retail.
yeah.
And just out of curiosity, are you leaving the wall out for now? Are you planning on 2 retail spaces or just kind of leaving it open
It
to
would be-
decide who's
It
going
would
to be?
be anticipated to be no more than 2, could be just 1,
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Okay,
but the doors really don't lend itself to.
no. But would they have separate entrances?
We would have create a vestibule at that other door.
Okay.
And, yeah, so we can't add another door because of the change in grade, because then all the floor levels and.
Right,
stuff
right.
Gets to be a mess, yeah.
It's relatively minor. The last record we had, the problem is in writing, the last time the planning board, it was like one of the post memos back in February. So we just haven't had the most recent correspondence saying we're okay with the ground floor layout. So I put it back in here just to be like, just reaffirming points. It's more just checking boxes, really.
Okay.
That's why that was in there. Yeah, we just noted the slight changes, and it wasn't anything substantial. So staff had no issue with it, just making sure the board was okay with that. I do think the next comment was a little bit pretty important.
Just so you're aware, the retail area in total is 3450.
Okay.
That's what they're talking, whether it's one tenant
Or
two
two,
tenants.
yeah, that's what
It's
I
3450.
asked because the wall and the door, I don't know how you would make it two with the wall.
Well, one tenant would be a larger space.
I just meant with the entrance to the retail, it looks like there's only an entrance into the southernmost.
Correct. You would
Retail, I
have
don't
to
know how
create a
you would-
vestibule.
Okay.
Otherwise, right, you can't do it
So you
because
have
of the
to have-
change in the road.
Okay, but that's the only place that you can have an entrance. Okay. Okay,
And that
because you know the
lower corner is where we eliminated the public amenity.
right.
And we replaced the public amenity with the easement that would be on the south side of the building in order to get from the parking lot to the street. So that was what the replacement was, because I think there's a comment in here about the public amenity, if you're acceptable with that amenity.
We can get there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's actually the next comment. So it is about the major public amenity. So last time we talked about, you guys wanted to refer it to, actually the Gina Group mentioned there was some involvement with the administration and they had some input on the idea of it. And the staff went with the administration on it and to get some clarification. And the recommendation was, and I guess it was discussed with the group in the past, was with the removal of the plaza, there was a potential offer from the group originally about giving the additional funds dedicated to that plaza toward the village for some kind of project. And you might have remembered we were talking about the downtown revitalization initiative, right? Unfortunately, we did not win that. That went to the Village of Valley Stream. So in lieu of that, what the administration has discussed is setting up a separate funding account specifically for the South Village Uptown area, almost to fund future projects. So like revitalization, public
It's actually all delineated in the Uptown
Exactly.
revitalization project. I mean, it's 3.10.3.
Oh, the funding, the establishment?
Yeah, they go, we want it for this sidewalk, that sidewalk, this, parking lot. Like, it's really very clear where the Uptown revitalization, where they planned on putting that money. It just, anyway.
Okay, no, you're right, that's good, okay.
It was very, very clear.
So that was the idea, and the village administration on board with doing that?
I don't know.
I think can I just say something?
Yeah.
We gave a number for the sidewalk and the plaza. So the sidewalk is still in play here, so we're just talking about the plaza, not the whole thing. There was this Tucker House or whatever it is, we said, but it's not the whole thing, because we're still doing the sidewalk. Unless we're taking away the sidewalk, we gave a number, I sent you a number of what it is just for the plaza.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the
So-
318, that
No,
was.
that's for the whole thing.
That's the whole thing, yeah.
That's the whole thing. So if you're just talking about the plaza, we gotta carve that out and
That's what I
put
was
a
asking
number on
for.
just that.
Yeah.
So I guess what I was leading up
Not the whole
to
thing.
is I am in agreement that the sidewalk that the applicant is providing from the western part of the hill, the hills, and really being able to get to that park, the playground, and all of that. I would argue that that is definitely within the intention of what the upper revitalization project meant the monies to go to, because they talked about sidewalks and pedestrian access. So I'm all in favor of that. And then the remaining portion that was previously for the plaza should go into a fund that then will then be used for everything else that's delineated in the Uptown Appendix Q.
Are you talking about two separate funds?
No. So they are
new fund,
building a sidewalk, essentially, a pedestrian walkway, which I'm saying is in the spirit of what the intent of the monies was for.
I agree.
Okay. And then the remainder of the money that is owed, that's not part of that sidewalk, will hopefully go into a fund that the village will
Hopefully
use.
a dedicated fund
Yes.
specifically for Uptown, because I'm seeing.
Yes,
funds in-
100%. I mean,
Right.
that was what it was supposed to be,
Yeah, I agree.
so.
But it's based on the number that the Gito group gave
Mhm.
for the pedestrian walkway.
Right.
And
Just the plaza. Just the
Just
plaza
the
that's
plaza.
now being.
Correct.
Well,
yeah.
both really, right? Because
No,
there's
no,
some
no.
total
No.
amount that you owed, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, so, yeah, the donation that we were recommending was only, like Rob said, only just, so they would build the walkway, and the remaining money that was originally to go for the plaza would then be sent in a separate account.
Yes, that's
Yes.
what we're all,
Okay, I was just,
Am I
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the grand total is 318.
The grand total of everything was
So
318.
318 minus the walkway.
Minus the
goes
sidewalk.
Correct.
to the rest of the-
Yes.
Yeah.
correct.
thank you, Ray.
There's still good math in my head though.
Very
I
good.
cannot.
And that amount is what is left, period. It's not the full amount. Okay, that's item number one. Moving on.
That's one and two.
Yes.
So the next one we had, okay, this was just a minor comment. So we talked about, there's the design requirements in 250-19F, which is kind of about like the doors being set back 3 feet from the street line of the building, the fenestration of the building being more than 60% on ground level, more than 30% on the above stories. Everything in the plans basically shows that it complies with that. We just wanted like a note or revision in the plans just to verify it so it's documented. I don't think it's a major comment, but just we usually just ask for it just because there's nothing right now on the plan showing that it's like, oh, this percent of the lower floors has fenestration. We just don't have that number. So that's something that staff are asking for, just to keep the records clean.
You want it on the plans?
Yeah, just some kind of, yeah, exactly, documentation. That's something that we were recommending.
Can you do that?
Like
That
a
can be
table,
done.
almost like a table.
Exactly. Yeah, like a table.
Parking table or something.
Yeah.
So you want a fenestration table on the plan?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on.
It's minor. Moving on from that, we had, okay, the parking agreements. So this was more with, about the, so we guess, like Mr. Rooster said during the public hearing, we received the vehicle, we received a couple of the three easements, correct? We received the vehicle access agreement, right, allowing access from the Baxter to the Hills project, right behind it. It does also include provisions specifically for parking, but also site access between the two. We had the pedestrian walkway easement, which is an easement for the public walkway, right, allowing, I guess, pedestrians, right, is the way it's written.
Right, I gave
Yeah.
3 easement agreements. And if you go to the site plan, if you bring it up, okay, so, unfortunately,
The easement agreement.
yes,
plan.
there's a,
Plan, yeah. It's probably at the back, it was not included in the site plan set. It's separate.
It might be in the file, like it might be a.
I know it was a separate document that we provided as part of the submission on May the 7th. There you go. So what is shown in green, the walkway is on the bottom. I provided that easement agreement on that one. Then if you see on going north on the parking lot, we had to show an easement into what would be the Rail Realty site. That's the parking spaces, the green on the top. And then the L-shaped, upside down inverted, is the other easement that we had for parking and access. So we provided those 3 documents as requested for review. And the reason we did that is because we also filed an amended site plan application for Rail Realty. And that was to show that on the amendment that there was sufficient parking for rail and that parking that was going to be designated for this was reflected as well. And the question, I believe, if I'm understanding this, is a suggestion that we amend the original document of MTA Village of Port Jefferson and Rail to acknowledge the parking, but that's been recorded. It speaks to itself as to Rail that the parking is allocated. I don't really would not want to amend that agreement because it's going to get approved and signed by the village, the MTA, as well as the applicant, so I don't think it's necessary.
Back up for me just a second.
Mhm.
What distinction are you making right now? The part, you have an agreement with the village also,
There is an agreement for the village, the MTA, and Rail Realty that allocates the space as parking for Rail Realty's use expressly.
okay,
And it allows those spaces to be attributed to Rail Realty. And what we did is we filed, because the request of staff was, file an amended site plan application to allocate
for the hills.
for the hills, how many parking spaces were going to be reduced in order to be allocated for the Baxter. And that's what we filed. And there was a plan prepared by Angelo Leno and VHB to acknowledge that, so that the parking is allocated for rail and shows the current number, and the parking that's allocated to the Baxter. If Angelo can explain it to you, I don't see the need.
Doesn't that have to be done by easement? I mean,
We did. I prepared an easement
for the parking spaces specific to the Baxter. You need that. We need that.
Well, the site plan amendment was reducing rails and allocating and showing the parking numbers that are being allocated for the Baxter. I believe you want to explain.
Does this mean that the Baxter can't use any of the spaces then for Texaco? They can use the rail, so the problem is there's an agreement already that exists. I figured when you add another property to that agreement, you almost have two separate agreements that makes then? But does this conflict in any way with what's been
The
established?
Baxter needs to have an easement in perpetuity with the hills for its parking.
Well, it's a shared parking agreement, so there's easements and then there's agreements. They are proposing an easement to allow access between the two, and it says in it, intended function for parking. The problem is, there's no formal agreement between the two. So they could say, oh, we have access to use our parking, but it doesn't say how many spaces are there. It doesn't, right? And the MTA, Texaco, and LS. That's why I
And
think.
it has to be in perpetuity. It has to be.
That's what I always thought was the case. That's why I wrote in the sample just to verify with Mr. Burke, but I could have sworn that's always, because the other properties in the village have the same type of thing, because they all have parking agreements, because that's the 60 North Plaza, the big professional office.
Need a parking agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, and then cross parking, access agreement generally.
Not if the cross access is different than parking allocation. Yeah. You need a parking agreement that stipulates how many spaces the Baxter gets in that area, and it has to be in perpetuity. I mean, you have to have that agreement.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like that's been provided for.
What was provided was an amended site plan application for rail, showing the total number of spaces that they have, and a site plan for the Baxter showing the total number of spaces. So between the two, they meet the requirement of parking for both projects. You need to approve the site plan application, and if you want a parking agreement acknowledging between rail and also between the Baxter, saying that they share the parking between the two respective parties. Today is the first time that that's been requested,
I've been
which
talking about
is,
it.
I understand, but in the last meeting notes that we received, that we gave the 3 documents that were requested. We can prepare a parking agreement.
So cross parking, shared
Fine.
parking.
You have to have
agreement,
it.
easement, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty common when you have multiple tenants in the area. Multiple.
And with that being said, you need to then approve the amended site plan for rail as well as the site plan for the Baxter. And that can be a condition of providing a cross-parking agreement between the two entities. But that hasn't come up until today. And that's,
I tried to make it clear that that was an important consideration. So, sorry, it didn't relay sooner than that.
But we do not want to change the MTA, Village of Fort Jeff, and rail parking agreement that is filed and recorded, that was part of the rail project at its inception.
Well, you shouldn't have to, because there's no Baxter spaces in that mix, right?
Exactly.
Not giving them
This-
spaces.
this-
So that's not changing.
But the parking agreement can be recorded.
Yes, along with along with all of the 3 easements, yes. You're on.
Okay, that takes care of that bullet, doesn't it?
So next we have DPW comments. You might know, I think it's in the back of the report, we got an email. We forwarded the application to DPW for their review and comment. I also went on site with Greg Munson, who's, superintendent for the department. He had no issues with the internal access site work. DPW seemed to be pretty okay with that. Their biggest concern is with the stuff that was actually submitted with the application for the New York State Department of Transportation, the highway work permits, the construction staging, the different phases of the project. I actually have in the report where they talk about their basic concerns about some of concerns about some of the traffic that might be created, where the site's going to be accessed from, like which streets to be accessed from. Like these are things they wanted to identify on the plans. They also wanted an actual staging narrative, like going through the whole construction process, which we have.
Each phase of the construction.
Exactly. So there's plans, I don't know, parking lot, it's called the off-site plans, so you'll see it's a separate site plan set. I apologize, I don't have the formal, everything with me right now.
So we did receive the comments from DPW. We received the comments from DPW today. We will review them and we'll provide a formal response to each one.
But could we, upon their response, make it a condition of whatever is being recommended? Because what winds up happening is we've gotten the comments, we've responded, now you're going to send it back to DPW, Port Jeff DPW, not to hold up June 18th, just say that there'll be compliance with the condition that's sought out between the parties.
Can I speak to one specific thing?
You sure can.
The DPW brought up a comment that was then repeated in the staff report. The northbound left turn lane as you approach sheep pasture, as part of the construction along the site frontage, we have to establish a protected work zone for the construction vehicles and the folks that'll be in next to the curb, essentially. So as part of that, if we look at that plan, you'll see something on the curb line towards the bottom of the page that looks like a pickup truck. It's a construction vehicle with an attenuator on the back. In case someone wanders into the work zone, they hit a spring-loaded device that is designed to not hurt them, but to stop the car from intruding into the work zone and really hurting a construction worker. So as part of that, we need certain width at that location against that curb. That's going to shift.
Before you go any further, I'm sorry, are we talking about Sheep Pasture Road or Main Street?
We're talking about Main Street, but on Main Street, there's a northbound left turn lane to westbound Sheep Pasture, and that's what the comment was about.
Okay.
I'm explaining why we did what we did that generated the comment.
Okay, thank you.
So as part of that work zone protection scheme, and it's not super clear on this drawing, the southbound through lane is going to be maintained at 11 feet in width, which is adequate, but it does move a little bit with that cone line into that left turn lane. So that left turn lane becomes too narrow to be open when the folks are there against the curb working. So this construction, we estimate, will take between 5 and 10 work days, so somewhere between a week and 2 weeks. The other mitigating factor is, per DOT's requirements, there won't be anybody doing this before 10 in the morning or after 3 in the afternoon. So the commuting peaks when we have a lot of traffic going on here, that'll be curled up and put away. So I believe that was the nature of the comment that was in the DPW comments that made it into the staff report. I figured, well, we're here, I might as well take care of it.
Okay, that's fine. Now, didn't DPW attach some pages with signs checked off? I think at the end of that.
Yeah, they had.
I think that's about the building construction. isn't it?
Yeah, they're looking for the entrance, they just weren't sure what road, based on the plans, where the entrance was expected and.
Well, I think that's an Angelo question.
Okay.
Because I'm road construction, he's building.
Oh.
I don't
But
want.
those are traffic signs.
Yeah, like construction entrance, it said be prepared to
Right.
stop.
And then,
But that's
During construction is what you're saying?
for the
as
building.
opposed-
Oh,
I
so-
think
Oh,
it's for the
construction
building.
of the
Okay.
building.
So is this for, this is just for the road work, is that?
Correct.
Okay.
This whole set of
Okay.
plans is for the road work,
Okay.
which
That's-
is everything in the DOT right away from the, right away dash line on the plan into the street.
Okay.
So I don't think that's what that deals with.
Yeah, this might be more of the building, yeah, that's more.
Okay.
So.
So I want to stay in my lane. First time.
Which brings us back to Angelo Lane to explain that.
So at some point, access to the site will have to be from the rail property. They're proposing staging some materials on that site during construction. The building unfortunately takes up all of the width of Main Street. So at some point, once foundations start and they start digging, they'll have to come in that way. So we're showing a construction entrance in on the west side of the site.
And you have a plan that shows that, if you put that plan up? Yeah.
and hopefully you'll use the dedicated parking for the Baxter, not the Hills, to stage
It's in
the
hills,
stuff.
I think, right?
Well, but I guess what I'm saying is, don't take away the parking that you have for the Hills with staging stuff for the Baxter. Use the
Yeah,
dedicated.
it will be, there will be an area sectioned off.
That's the
I've
question.
seen the plan.
Well,
Few spaces
keep
there, and
keep going to the erosion plan.
It does go in a little bit.
But those are parking that's supposed to be for the Baxter eventually.
Keep going, one more up. Oh, a couple more up. There you go. So that gravelly looking area on the left, that's the entrance, the construction entrance. And, they'll stockpile, they'll store materials on site as much as possible, and then we're talking about using the area just to the north where it says tax lot 226. Those 4 or 5 spaces just to that area right there as temporary staging during construction.
Okay, can I ask you to do one thing with the construction signs? Even though they are for traffic, they're on the site.
Sure.
I know DPW had some cut sheets out. I'm not sure that they all conform to the manual, state manual or the federal manual. So maybe if you get some input from Pat, because he'll know what conforms. Some of the text on the signs, some of the signs may have symbols on them. Sometimes when you go online and you pick off signs from sign manufacturers, they're not necessarily conform to the manual. They're made up. Some of the signs are made up. So
Understood. We
yeah,
will.
just let them do that.
We'll spec everything in conformance with MUTCD.
Okay.
Back to you.
Next one's actually been addressed already, I think. So, as mentioned before, I think it's about the fire marshals, right? Now we're back on page 10. Next one, yeah, had to do with the village fire marshals. So, until this morning, the village fire marshals, I didn't have their village comments yet. We did refer back to them on May 14th though, and I met with both Brian and Todd this morning, our fire marshals. They reviewed all of the comments given by Haydock and VHB's responses to those comments, because there was a lot about the turnaround,
Yes.
emergency turnaround plan. There was some comments about different parking spaces they were concerned about. But the fire marshals reviewed it, they found it to be acceptable, particularly given that there already is a fire apparatus road on Main Street, it's primary road. Plus they found the design conforms with the alternative approaches to the fire code. So they had no concerns with it on that end, so that's another checkbox.
That was the letter that we gave of April 30th from VHB to HADA. That's the.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which we submitted 2 weeks ago, so that's what he prepared. So that's acceptable.
Yeah. So the next is the engineer comments. So Haydock gave a detailed engineering letter from March 30th, 31st, I have it right here. One of those days. Going through, right, as requested, going through the submission. I'll quote them, it wasn't originally referred to them just for construction, staging, demolition. They went a little, they kind of reviewing the whole thing. So we got comments on basically everything. from site access to ADA compliance, to drainage structures. And in response, like Mr. Russo said, there was a detailed letter prepared responding to many of those comments, which based on our assessment, it seems like they've done, they've at least tried their best to incorporate a lot of them. There was some where, and I guess maybe I'll let it to you guys, talk about where they couldn't fully get every comment incorporated, right? Like, for example, there was a recommendation to remove a certain parking stall due to maneuverability, but they're also trying to maximize parking, so they said they increased the loading area, and they tried to reorganize some things to work on it. So both those letters are attached. You can either go through every comment and response if the board wants to. That's one of the things I was recommending, is because not every response is just like, oh yes, we did do this. There's a lot of like alternative approaches. So if the board wants to go through all those, we could certainly do that. And the responses are less we just staff had no issue. The biggest thing was just the ADA compliance, just ensuring. Which I think you guys clarified. But
The ADA compliance,
yeah.
we were able to make that work 100%.
Yeah, I think this is an ongoing thing. We're doing this. I mean, review all the plans, and it's an ongoing.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied with staff's recommendation.
Okay. Yeah, we had no issue with everything. The drainage was the one thing that I know was difficult. They had a recommendation that was like similar to Brookhaven Town. They weren't sure if it was required for us. Our village code doesn't have the specific, right, the separation between the dry wells. So I know they're a little bit reduced, right, compared to Brookhaven Town, but.
Yes, Brookhaven has a specific requirement to space dry wells 1.5 times the depth of the dry well. We've done plenty of projects in the past where you have 10-foot separation and there's plenty of room to backfill and compact and all that good stuff. My professional opinion, because of the way the site is situated and the site constraints, I wanted to get as much drainage in there as I could. And so we shortened that separation distance in order to add more dry wells.
Do you feel like the soil, you did soil testing, do you feel like the soil will be able to percolate it
It's typical
without?
Port Jeff sand soil,
Yeah.
sandy soil, yeah.
You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because now they're closer together, so there's not as much space for it to.
There'll be 10 feet. There
Okay.
won't be any issue.
Okay,
with
that's
leaching.
my question. It's not clear.
Generally, any type of percolation will start off and then quickly head downward, if you will. So it's,
But clay can impact.
right, but
as long as there's
I
no.
don't believe that you're gonna build these by caisson. You're gonna open up the area, drop your,
Okay.
and then put in good material around it.
Okay.
Whether it's stone or sand or whatever. And, I had no problem with that.
Okay.
That's- Yeah,
So then our plan is acceptable.
correct.
Okay, good one.
Okay.
Pat on the back.
There you go.
So I'll let that go. Next we already talked about is just a recommendation to ease certain conditions and final approval.
So the easements, I'm assuming, are being reviewed by the village attorney. There should be no further revisions, and I can easily get them executed, and we'll prepare a parking agreement as requested by Mr. Ross.
Okay, Mr. Russ.
And give it to Mr. Burke for review. Okay.
Next was construction cost estimate. So we were asking for an updated comprehensive construction cost estimate for the project, particularly because of applicable fees, right? As part of any site development plan application, you require a performance bond, a site inspection fee. There is also, I don't know if this is always included, but there's a screening fee, bond they call it, which is for landscaping to provide screening. I think we usually just incorporate it as part of the performance bond, but the code does specify that one out. And the last one we mentioned was parking fees. So that was one that is typically established at a rate by the Board of Trustees. The most recent one was established it was almost a year to date, actually, when they voted on it, but it's $1,900 per unit parking fees.
You stated in the letter, landscaping and screening bond,
Yep.
performance bond, site inspection fee, and parkland recreations fee.
Yep.
So those are all gonna be, I'm assuming, conditions
Yes.
of the planning board, so we don't need to finalize those other than stating that it will be subject to
Well,
that based on the submission. of the
No,
construction.
usually before they write the resolution, it's incorporated, the resolution will say, this is the amount for this,
Okay.
so. we
And
just-
we'll have the Gino Group provide you with the construction cost estimate, and then you can calculate them.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, and that will get within the week, so that you have plenty of time for June the 18th.
4 weeks is our new submission deadline, so it's 4 weeks before the meeting. Well, we'll do 3 weeks because it's a resubmission. That's the, right, 3 weeks is what we agreed on for resubmissions, 4 weeks before for new applications.
Well, today happens to be May the 21st, June the 18th is deadline.
No, of course, we're gonna be, yeah, I know.
I think we have to wiggle on that one. Okay, we'll get them to you quickly.
As soon as you can, thank you.
There you go.
Um, Next one that the board wants to, you mentioned the CAC and the tree committee, right? Obviously, a member from the tree committee spoke tonight. It's just been, the thing is, there's been some updates to the plan since that point. We also never got a formal written letter. I was checking through our file, I don't think we've ever received, right? Formal written letters from either of those committees, so I don't know if the board wants to refer it back to them. Don't know when they meet next. I know they met already, I believe, for this month, so it'll be next month. But that's up to the board. There's very limited landscaping proposed.
Yeah,
We
but
personally said we were okay with
Can
that.
you incorporate what the tree committee asked for, the soil?
Engineered soil.
Thank you, engineered soil.
Yes.
So.
And if
I
you
s-
remember when we talked about the site plan last time, there were planter boxes being discussed because there is very little area to do any type of landscaping. And you were all amenable to that the last time. So I don't think we need a tree committee to tell us what should be in the planter boxes, unless.
I think, okay, I think that the tree committee was concerned about the health of the street trees, so they were recommending a structural soil to help the root system
Yeah.
grow, which is,
I feel
we
like-
would typically do that under a sidewalk anyway.
So we can handle that when we don't have to refer it back to either
I agree.
CAC or tree,
That's fine.
correct? Thank you.
So the last couple kind of moot because of our conversation, but the one thing I'll say is, if the board is okay with everything as is, I don't think the comments are major enough to prevent you from doing secret tonight. We did prepare part twos for the board to review tonight, and pursuant to the code, because there's both a draft environmental impact statement, file environmental impact statement for this district. We also have the consistency analysis prepared by the applicant, which staff and the board found acceptable in the past. We're not opposed at all to, at least as long as, go through the secret tonight. I think we're pretty okay to go through the, huh? I said we could probably do it tonight, yeah. So the part two is prepared, there's no date on it, it hasn't been signed, but if the board, I could either walk you through the very few things we checked. Yeah, so, right, as you know, this is right potential impacts, and a lot of these were, the impacts were anticipated as part of those DIS and GIS. So the only impact we truly have, we mentioned impact on land, right? Because that's any action involving construction on or physical alteration of land. Of course, you can't really prevent that as part of this application. But again, this is infill development. It doesn't appear to exceed any of the thresholds that the state establishes for moderate to large impacts that could occur. So we checked everything. There's no small and moderate impact, but though still checking yes that there will be an impact on land as part of this development. The next one doesn't occur until page 3, which is impact on groundwater. This is specifically just because it says additional demands on supplies from existing water so systems. Again, it's happening to Suffolk County Water Authority. There's no anticipated impact, but just the fact that it's a building and it's generating some potential. Right, it's going to have more water demand with it. So, but again, we're not anticipating any impact to the actual groundwater. There's full drainage proposed, all it's supposed to be maintained on site in accordance with the village code. So we had no issue with that going forward. We just marked it as a potential. Then there's nothing flooding
Well,
air.
With the air, with the demolition of the existing buildings, is there lead paint, is there asbestos, is there?
This is a hard one because it's more about air emissions.
Okay.
So it's about a building that would generate emissions.
Okay.
It's not, this is one of the weird things with secret, right? It's not really anticipating the asbestos abatement. I definitely think that's a good question though, for the construction part of it, the demolition plans, like that's been discussed, because we never got comments from Hayek regarding construction staging or demolition, even though that's what we've asked for. I never got anything from them. So I don't know if we have any real plans or protocols right now. Like we asked for construction staging narrative phases, so describing the work that's involved.
They have to get a demolition permit, correct?
Yes.
And wouldn't that require asbestos testing, so you're gonna
Yes.
have to go through that.
So my bad,
Correct.
I thought that would be included in this, so it was my misunderstanding.
I think there, well, they
At
talk
this
about impact
point.
of noise, air, there's a later section which we,
Okay.
go through, which kind of incorporates that.
But Mr. Rosner's correct about the demolition, you're gonna need that.
So we'll catch it then.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we'll put that, okay. Sometimes the boards ask for it before, so we've got it covered. Next one doesn't have until page 8, which is just impact on energy, right? There's gonna be obviously an increased demand in the energy supply, but none of which triggered the thresholds from the state again. So we, again, put no or small impacts may occur for any of those requirements.
So you marked yes for transportation, but then
Oh,
didn't have any
Yeah.
marks as no or small impact.
Because he's gonna ask us to put those in.
Okay.
Technically, the board you can fill them in, but if you want to go through those,
Probably need to do something.
yeah. So that's the. Originally, I thought I put all no or small, but. So in the past, the board has reviewed the traffic impact study, and I know there's been revisions requested, and it's gone a little bit back and forth, but at least it was back in, I believe it was February 20th was the last time we reviewed it, and the board found it to be acceptable. It didn't, again, because of the size and scale of the proposed development, it fit within the, it appears to fit within the scope of GEIS and GEIS from staff's perspective, but I would leave that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all good.
They're
Mr.
all-
Chairman.
They're all no
The
or
board?
small impact.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
small.
small.
All small, so we can.
Yeah.
You just do that.
Solved another one, let's move.
Thank you,
On a
Rick.
roll, you should maybe
Yeah.
think about leaving soon.
No, until we get after the last two, then we can leave. So you resolve the secret.
Or again, impact on noise was put at yes, but everything was checked no or small, right? That's because of construction and things that are gonna occur.
Mhm.
There's also lighting proposed, but not out of proportion
Yeah.
to the neighboring area.
And any roof deck, right, is mitigated.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're still with the solar panels, or do we?
Yes.
Solar panels hidden from the street, I mean, you will be able to
Correct,
see
below
them.
the parapet.
That was what we
Still in.
represented
Right.
on April 16th.
Correct.
And he indicated the solar panels would be there pursuant to the new compliance regulations of
And
the state.
is that why you needed the utility in the corner?
That's the second page.
Right? Oh, okay. Never mind.
I think mine's short. You wanna hold it? Is yours beautiful? Okay. Impact on human health was no. And then page 10. Yeah, we had no for everything else. So consistency of character, that was it. So as long as you're okay with that, I could do we just have to sign and date it. We have to date it, and then what we would do then is we would prepare the formal determination. That would be negative impact.
We can do that tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
We could do county referral, if say secret's done.
Yeah.
Right.
That was my original goal. I just, again, I was trying, I promise. I was not trying to help you. But,
So do we need to vote on that?
yeah, so, yeah, I think we'd have to vote on if you agree, accepting the part 2 prepared by staff, or as you would, or actually, and the board together. And then you would go to the negative declaration pursuant to, secret, or no further environmental review.
Take a motion to accept the secret report prepared by staff as amended tonight by the planning board.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. And then,
We'll proceed with referrals then to planning commission, and we'll write up a formal negative, a statement too, like, so,
Oh.
like, we'll usually have a finding statement. That's something that I obviously don't have in front of me tonight, but we can circulate to the board, maybe for comment, just to, so we get over to the county, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
tonight,
You have to do a negative determination?
Yeah, the negative.
You gotta do that.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody wanna make a motion to, declare negative declaration, secret determination, negative secret, declaration of negative secret impact, I guess it is.
How do you say it? Yeah, it's a.
Like that.
Negative.
Negative.
yes.
Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That was it, the rest of them were just.
And then you still have to do the referral to the town.
Yes. We'll do that and the county.
Correct.
I'll put the dates on there. When it's necessary to come back.
Which then gets you to one of the next ones, or I think the second to last one, which has to do with the requirement of New York State DOT and Suffolk County Health Department prior to commencement of construction and/or final site plan. It should simply be prior to construction.
That's a condition of approval, just the way
Right.
that's.
Yeah, so what I meant is, because we have conditional final approval and then we have final approval. Conditional means like, it's approved, you can start, but then here are your conditions you have to meet.
Right.
It was, yeah, it's test.
But
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we don't have to give you New York State DOT
No.
or
Yeah.
Health Department prior to this being decided. That's fine.
Correct.
And then last comes down to your final approval, which you discussed it in the public portion, that you would have a resolution prepared for June 18th.
For the conditional approval,
Correct.
yes.
Yeah, the draft resolution will be prepared. It won't be, just because we haven't referred to the county, we
Yeah.
won't approve anything, we get their comments back. Right?
No, you do not.
Is that true?
What's that?
Does the county have to weigh in before this board votes to do a final approval, like planning commission?
The planning commission, yeah.
They have to weigh in.
You need a determination from the planning commission.
Yeah.
A matter of
final.
local determination, that's correct.
But could that be a condition of approval? Could we add that as a condition?
No, because they might
Oh,
say.
there you go.
Right, if they said
Look at the
something.
determination from the county.
They say something, then you have to
Okay.
include it.
We'll talk to them. Yeah, well, okay.
What's up with that?
Okay.
Let me know when you decide.
Send them along. That'd be great.
I'll make a phone call.
So you just have to show that you sold it, you don't need to close.
So what I do to do those, I do have to write a document about the secret. So, because they have to have that in writing, so maybe it won't be tomorrow, maybe we plan to, because I can circulate that document to them. Yeah, final.
Monday's a holiday.
Monday, yeah, Tuesday.
Monday's a holiday, right? Okay, Tuesday. Sorry.
Are there any other questions about the documents that we presented? Otherwise, everything else is acceptable.
Just a note about the ARC, we're all squared with all their comments, all addressed, all, they signed off.
They will do.
Okay, good.
And thank the applicant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. You too. Happy Memorial.
Where are we, in June?
No, I didn't know.
Okay, so.
Did we get a staff report?
It's more of a status here. Letting them present. We're waiting a lot of, Yeah, that's
Are you the actual captain? Okay. It's like you don't run captain.
No, he's a whole captain.
He's a whole captain. 15 or 16.
I saw him at something. So I've done it before, it's great, it's a great experience, and I'm doing it again, so,
Okay.
that's my excuse.
Yeah, you get to buy all the paraphernalia, right?
Yes, I got everything. Peter Millar.
Oh, is it? Okay, Laura will be back in a second. Wait for her. Okay, ready? Dan? Go.
So this is, I kind of wanted to, so right, this is an application that's on for the public hearing coming up next, that's June 18th, is the official public hearing. So, but we know that they've submitted some revised architectural drawings. Basically, we just kind of want to give you guys a chance to update the board on what's been changed, and because there's been a lot of discussion with the ARC, there's been other comments. At this time, from our last review, we did do all the referrals to DPW, the engineers, the fire marshals. Basically, about the different plans, we just haven't received a response yet from everyone. So we're still kind of on our end. Hopefully by June, we'll have a formal staff report with everyone's comments. We're just still waiting on everyone else at this point, so.
When do you plan to go to the county in the town?
I could do that. I could call them and maybe I'll send this one.
I think it's more of a, not a call, but a submission.
Just send it to them,
Yeah.
so I can do that. Yeah, again, I was really confused by the
That's all right.
county thing, so I'll definitely send it to Brookhaven and, Suffolk County.
Planning commission.
Same person.
And I think you've done that already. Have you sent it to DOT already? This one?
This one, yes.
Yeah.
I think you guys actually, they originally submitted it, DOT. We sent it to, as part of SECR, and they gave us a whole bunch of comments back from them yet. I don't think we've received the revised engineering plans yet though, because I think we're waiting still for Hayden. Hayden got the whole engineering set, they just haven't given us, they were supposed to have them this week, we just, I guess something got a little delayed.
Anything else you need from us?
From you guys, I think I do need the consistency analysis, I wasn't sure if that was submitted yet. You wanna come?
Yeah. Sure. Scooch in. So there are some minor, adjustments to the site plan that are being made at the moment to catch up to Eric's latest footprint. There's no substantial change. The plan probably won't even look much different than it does now. So we're planning on submitting that with the consistency analysis next week.
Okay. Thank you. I guess I'll look through everything too, just to see.
Yeah.
Was the SWIP part of that too? Do you know? Because I know we need a SWIP at the end of. Sorry, I have some more comments. Yeah, I forgot about the post-meeting stuff here.
So we do need a SWIP for this project.
Yeah.
The SWIP was not intended on being submitted next week. If you need it, then we can put it together and submit it.
Okay. You're able to do that.
That's-
Because
okay.
this board usually reviews that first before it, or at least the plan for it, not the formal, right? Or would the planning board only ask for the SWIP?
I mean, it can be a condition of an approval, right? To have a SWIP that's satisfactory.
We were trying to get away from conditions.
Yeah.
So just try and get it done, right?
Okay, I think we're in the process of getting a geotechnical study done. I think we were planning on having the public hearing and then submitting it following the public hearing. So if that's acceptable, that would be it.
That sounds,
That would-
yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, these are all just long-term.
Obviously, we understand we won't get site plan approval without the SWIP being approved by the village.
And it's 10 days on the notice, so you have a formal notice and all that in time to, right?
Yes.
For us to send out.
Yes.
By
Yeah.
mailing posters.
This is-
Okay, great.
a week from tomorrow.
Great. Those posters and all that.
You have one?
That's really
Did you have
good.
questions on the conditional use?
Yeah, we did.
I thought we saw.
No, we did. I just wanted to clarify one thing. So, because we talked last time about the conditional use standards. I'll get Jim, but
Yeah.
the conditional use standards for this project, and I think we were okay with this, the use variance not being required because we said it's a permissible use, and wait, I mean.
Are we talking about the ground floor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I know. I'm sorry. I don't want to bring it back up. I was asking for clarification because at first it's hard because the way the code reads, right? The code reads says permit uses on the ground floor. Again, I don't want to bring up this whole thing again. I'm not trying to go through this whole thing, but pretty soon the ground floor. Well, the comprehensive plan is pretty clear about it. One retail and office on the ground floor and apartments above. So the way we read it as staff was that it's like, well, it's a permitted use per the section code. But last time was meant, we spoke about it, and the interpretation was that a conditional use could be on the ground floor as long as it's not, the apartments are on Main Street, North Country Road.
Yes.
The question was about those conditional use standards. I think last time the board made a determination to not require. It doesn't have to meet any of those standards with the ceiling heights, with those things. I just wanted to formalize that opinion just because.
I think it was at our discretion is what the
Yeah,
wording
it
is
says
that-
including but not limited to. So that's why I thought, because it said, originally this is where our staff's original interpretation was, because it used the word including but not limited to, we thought you had to go through those 4 standards at the minimum, then beyond it. I'm not trying to push anything back. The only thing I was just saying was because it's hard because it's been applied differently to different applications. So I just wanted to formalize an opinion so then going forward, as long as it's applied the same to everyone, I think it's okay.
Well, I
That's
don't
what happened.
think that, I think that's why we exist, because
Yeah.
some applications it would work, like this application, it makes sense to not require they follow those standards, is because there's no way that you can really access that from Main Street. So for it to be retail space, you would have to access it from Walnut. But I don't want to preclude us from saying in the future, hey, applicant, throw in something on the front so that the apartments aren't technically on Main Street, just to get out of having to do it. Am I making sense?
Yeah, and
I don't think we can blanket.
No,
It's more just it's case by case.
Yeah.
I'm just, I was just-
Discretional, and there were other reasons why we felt it didn't apply, that the grading issues.
That's what I'm saying.
On that side, we're, next to Tara, it was below grade, it just
Okay.
isn't practical for it to be retail.
Okay.
You're making a lot of sense.
No, it's
But
fine.
I
I'm
think
not
it's a
even-
case by case basis.
That's what I'm saying, because I
Yeah.
just have to, I'm writing the opinion on it, that's
And
all.
in this
I have to,
particular case,
it's because of those
because of
circumstances.
those
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, I have to write the opinion on it, so I'm
Right.
just trying to make sure we're all on the same
And
page.
we have approved it before, but again, it was because of specific, very specific.
Right, so it's
circumstances.
the grade, it's the access, there's no Main Street or North Country Road access would have to be access.
There's no
Yeah.
side street,
No
it's a
side
Yeah.
parking
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Sorry, I know I don't want to bring it back up.
No, it's all
No,
good.
we're good.
Yeah.
You have to write it, we don't.
Exactly.
So, we'll see you on the 18th.
Oh, what were the changes?
Yeah, I see you wanted to-
So yes, we had resubmitted to the planning department some changes to the elevations, and then that was forwarded to the architectural review committee, and then we scheduled a meeting with them. We met with them, we showed them material samples, and they had a few minor suggestions which we have incorporated, and we have the renderings put together, but have not formally submitted them
Well, what did
to
you,
yet.
what did you?
So, the updates we've made, we have the rendering here tonight, but they have not been submitted to the board yet, or to the ARC. So we had the meeting, they made some suggestions which we took into account, and now we'll be ready to submit them. We have the renderings tonight, but we haven't made the formal submission. So I can pass these around, certainly, yeah. I have one set, but I have several of that, so I guess we'll we can pass them around. One part of the helpful is the rendering on the east side on Walnut Street. We managed to incorporate the dentist's office, and there's a big tree that's on the dentist's office property, some of the landscaping. So that helps kind of show how the building relates to what's existing there on the site. Also on the south side or on the terrace side, we've worked into the rendering the parking lot itself and how there's a fence, and that how that relates, which we hadn't shown before. So we've also changed based on discussions with the ARC, we had increased the size of the cornice that runs around the building. Was one of their suggestions, which we took on. We also had changed on the corner window. They asked if we could recess that, so there's now that window is recessed about 8 inches. We cleaned up the door where the door entry is in the middle of the building. I can get up and point to that, but that's coming around on the front elevation. And they were really pretty minor. So also they asked us to continue the limestone material on the 4th floor continuous. Before, like in that picture there, it shows some brick worked in there, but we took that out and made it all one material. And that was about the extent of their comments. They were very supportive of the project in general and what we had done. So I'm assuming that these will be equally well supported. So I should be able to get that resubmitted sometime next week.
I think we're all done. Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks very much. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Sure. Have to resubmit.
In one of the emails from the village, there are a whole bunch of PDF files, and if you open it.
No, these are fresh off the press, as it were, so.
Oh, so it's changed from the other ones?
Yes, slightly, they're pretty minor, no footprint of major change. Thanks.
Yeah.
We're just taking a 5-minute break before the next application, Boulder Court.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, well, at least it was fun. At least it was something fun.
Yeah, at least- yeah.
That's probably why it hurt.
Oh, snow.
Didn't you hurt? Last time we saw you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't heal right, so I had to get surgery.
Oh, shit.
On the mend.
Awesome.
Okay,
All right.
all right, you're up.
Well, so last time is
Is the ink still wet on? He was making copies, that's why we had a little delay.
I was waiting. So, it's probably the most important document right now, but, so, what I have with me is last time we talked about the secret, and we talked about the full environmental assessment form, part 3, we reviewed it together, the board reviewed it together and found the attachments to be acceptable. What I have here is the actual FEA part 3, we just have to formally sign the document.
Okay.
Once this is signed, there's a draft resolution in the, the board's files to review for the project. The ones.
Did you get that in an email?
Yes, we
Okay.
sent an email, it should be in the file.
It's in the package.
Yeah, it's in the package.
Oh, okay, I got it.
The one decision point the board has to make tonight before that as well is just the construction costs for the performance bond.
Okay.
I know they've submitted just trying to get to everything. Not that one.
I saw it was a grand total of 142,600.
Yes.
What, why do they have to get a performance bond for everything on the site?
Well, they don't have to. So the thing is, the board has to determine what they want to
Oh,
require the
okay.
bond for. I put, again, it's just the draft resolution. We just put the number in there for now, but that can obviously be changed to whatever the board determines. Again, just to put a fill
Yeah,
in
because,
just in
I mean,
case.
usually it's only stuff that impacts the village.
Yeah.
Like if you stopped halfway through
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
so, I don't know,
Maybe just the April.
yeah, like I'm trying, I mean, I guess I would leave it to, this isn't my wheelhouse.
I would go to them.
Did we get that?
This came by.
See, that's
Oh.
yeah.
The resolution.
Oh, here it is, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I just
No, it's okay.
It was more of a filler. It's like highlighted. It's just like
Here, thank you.
I mean, definitely can take the landscaping off, right, because don't need that.
You need the retaining walls though,
Okay,
and probably the silt prep, maybe not. Septic. Wastewater management, leaching valves either.
Right.
County water service. Underground electrical.
Or gas.
Or gas.
Driveway, Boulder Court just staying.
Mm-hmm.
so we're at,
So Boulder
Maybe
Court.
take out landscape.
And there-
yeah,
Any retaining walls?
Just Boulder Court. And so site prep, excavation, driveway.
Yep. Retaining walls.
excavation also.
Retaining walls.
right,
Yeah.
I agree.
So
Correct.
just to make sure, so it's the site prep and clearing,
Right.
the excavation,
Correct.
retaining walls,
Correct.
and then what was the
Driveway.
The driveway.
The actual roadways.
Boulder
Yeah.
Court.
Okay.
Right, so what is that? About
70,200.
Yes.
That's a lot. Okay. Hold on.
Wait a second, 20.
It's right. It's 8,700.
No, it's,
You read it that quickly.
8,700.
He has a
Yeah, it looks like.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, he was adding it as he was asking if these things
Yeah.
are in, he was adding.
I was using this.
So what'd you get?
70,200.
Okay, well, that's.
Yeah.
Better than 140.
Percentage of that.
Bonds are all small, half
Yeah.
the size. Okay.
Do we have to
So
motion?
we just put that in the resolution.
Resolution.
Okay.
And then the inspection fee is 5%. that, so
Three.
3,500
Right.
inspection fee.
So the total performance bond is 70 grand?
No, well,
Or is it a percentage
yes,
of that?
it's, well,
So
that's,
it's a-
that is, that's the bond, but you, premium is a percentage of that,
Premium's usually like 10%,
something like that.
in the ballpark.
Right, yeah, it's usually 10% of whatever the bonded amount is.
Maybe less, right?
Yeah, so
Because 10% said that.
I don't think it's,
No, it's actually 10.
Yeah,
Probably.
it's like 5, yeah.
maybe, yeah, maybe
Yeah,
get
it's
it
like
back.
performance bond.
Oh, that's good, you get it back.
Yeah,
Well,
you
no,
get it back.
no.
Yeah.
Pay premium.
Finish that out.
No, I just, I know at this point, I know.
Pay premium.
So we'll change those.
Okay.
And
Okay.
oh, sorry. It's just this. We just have to sign. Just
Okay.
sign that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, thank you. I was just looking at it.
Oh, sorry, pardon me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fix the dates.
Yeah.
Oh, the dates are messed up?
No, look at page 5 of 7, now therefore be it resolved. The.
Oh, I love the matter. Okay.
Yep, yep.
And
Yep.
it's the same number, that's what's confusing.
It's the same number?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, that's-
42, well,
that's-
down here.
Right.
Oh, the number, that's the number we're changing to 70, so
Right,
I will
but,
get rid of
yeah,
that.
get rid of that.
Sorry.
No,
It's a drag. I'm sorry. You get the whole hospital to you. 70,200, right? So
Yep.
we're gonna change it to 70,000, the inspection fee.
Oh, we're saying 70,000.
Just 3,000
I'm
ahead.
thinking now.
3510. I'm sorry. 3510.
Okay.
Yes. Page 5. Oh, that should say May.
Yeah.
That should say today.
Question. Believe that the site work cost was all included in my building permit performance bond as well. So there is some overlap there, just to take into consideration.
Oh.
It's typical, well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate, that's just.
I mean,
I
it's
like
twice.
it, I just. huh?
Did you hear that?
Paying for it twice.
Wait, so can you say that again?
It was $1,000 performance bond, correct, in the building?
Correct. All the site work costs was included in the building permit performance bond as well. Just a
So-
consideration.
Site work.
It's always separate.
So like anything to do with road work, anything, we basically the full total cost of the project,
Right.
including site work.
So
So-
why,
It might be a duplication.
Building permit bonds are separate, those
Are
are
they?
a separate account with the treasurer's office, and those are fully refunded when you get your CO.
Right.
Yeah.
But
That's
is the
separate.
amount set by the cost of the construction?
No, the bond is always $1,000.
$1,000.
It's not set by cost of construction.
I figured it
The
out.
building permit fee is,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And that's, the $1,000 is 100% refundable on issuance of CO.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And ours is planning, like planning sign off, and we usually get the correspondence.
Yes.
Planning.
When you
That's-
sign off on the final inspection, with all the conditions on that,
Yeah.
then you do that form letter, where we sign off that the performance bond can be released.
Okay. See, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if you're, as long as you're accepting, you wanna sign the FEAF.
I will.
Do the-
Did you pick up that, I mean, it's minor, but on page 6 of 7, number 3, the approved by resolution, the year is wrong?
Oh, yeah.
Where?
There's
Number 3, page 6.
right before the chairman signs, right above that.
Oh, and then.
Yeah.
Oh, the condition tree, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the
No,
wrong.
that's all right.
Right, the dates are wrong.
Got it, 2026.
And it says 10th day of July.
Oh. So I copy paste this one. 21st
You
day.
put that stuff in there deliberately so we'd catch it, right?
Yeah, it's a, I don't know what you call it. It's puzzle.
So much Facebook.
Don't tell me.
All right.
May, okay. So 26.
Do we need the landscaping thing in there, the guarantee? Or did I miss it?
That's not in there currently, just because, do you want that in there?
There isn't much landscaping.
There's not, well, they have screening proposed on their own property. I took it out because it's a residential property, so I don't know if
okay.
the board wants to keep it.
We don't need it.
Okay.
I can sign that.
There's two. That's the part three. So I think we have to make the motion.
Oh my gosh.
Secret, so they did the declaration too, yeah.
Really?
That's gonna get fixed.
Okay.
It gets lowered.
Okay, good.
Right,
It's like a
number
lot.
of what page is that?
Page 6.
Oh, the cost.
Cost.
The inspection fee?
Inspection fee, it's not 7,000, right?
No, it's be 30,
3510.
3510.
Okay.
3510 is what it got lowered to.
3510?
Yeah. Now to cover like engineer going out there just to pay it probably going out to verify.
Mhm. So we just need a motion for the resolution, right?
Yeah, well, one for secret, I think we need
Oh.
negative.
I thought we did that.
Did we? I don't know
Yeah,
if we
we
did
did,
the
we
motion
did.
for the last meeting,
Yeah,
we just
we
signed
did.
this one.
Oh.
Well, it was in here, whereas.
The minutes say the I thought the minutes didn't say that, I thought we just had to do the public hearing at this meeting.
I thought it was in the, I thought I just read it in the resolution,
Yeah, I
but.
think,
Well,
Yeah.
we put it in the resolution,
So it
assuming
says-
tonight's, it was to help the applicant move
Oh,
forward tonight. So the
okay.
resolution's written as though you did this at the same meeting.
we didn't neg deck it last time?
I think last time we went through the revised part 3, but we never had the actual signature and.
Okay. So I motion we declare negative declaration.
Did we just do the minutes last time?
Yeah, they're right here, it doesn't say.
It doesn't, right? I don't think we did it last time. That was the one thing we were missing, was that one document.
Yeah, there was no vote,
Okay,
it was
it can't hurt to do it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I motion that we declare a negative declaration.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
And
motion we accept the resolution.
draft
As
resolution
as
as
amended.
amended tonight.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Yay.
Got to the end of the road.
Good job. Man, you guys are tough cookies.
Yeah, sorry.
The clearing permit for the other lot, does that be approved tonight, or is that something Dan takes care of?
That's me, well,
Yeah.
yeah, like we're
But
talking.
relevant?
Yeah, well, I don't have it right now.
sometime this week.
Very quickly.
I can
I
try.
got a very short extension from the lender, so I need to move fast.
Okay, yeah, I can order it tomorrow. Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Perfect.
You only got one day, you're off Monday, so big.
Tomorrow's the day, yeah, you got it.
We might be knocking.
It's okay, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
I probably owe it, so yeah,
Yeah.
you got it.
Appreciate it. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Yes,
I'll call
you
tomorrow.
guys, really
Good luck.
great job.
Alright.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful.
Thank you.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Take care of that foot.
Yeah.
Accidental.
Yeah, we ready for 75?
Yeah, it's next, right?
Okay, 75 North Country Road. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you all.
Good. Yep, the music stopped, somebody's gonna stay.
No, we have chairs.
We have plenty.
We have
Okay.
chairs.
Oh, that's fine, okay.
Okay.
You can do it, come on.
No, you guys can
No,
sit.
no, no, go ahead. Sorry, music's over.
Okay, this is introducing the application, and you have a presentation for us.
Okay.
Yes, sir. What would you like to do first? Would you like to do the presentation and then?
Well, we could do both.
Okay.
I'll just give a
All right.
little,
Overview.
where this all started. So Mather Hospital,
Wait, Cindy, excuse me, can you each just give me your names first so that I can put it down there?
Mike Rowan from Northwell Health.
Devendra Mahajan, Stony Brook University.
Can you spell that for me?
So, Devindrer, Devendra Mahajan, Mahajan.
Thank you. And you, Stony Brook
Stony Brook
University, right?
University, yes.
Thank you.
Robert Foley, New Concept Engineering.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Mather Hospital has had a long history of energy efficiency projects. We've had a solar array there producing for about 15 years. We're currently, in our first step, increasing the capacity with putting in new solar panels. The panels that we have there are degraded. The new ones will be about 3 times the capacity. Additionally, we have a subsequent phase that will add more solar. So with the solar, we're going to this project where Stony Brook University has received funds from New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. We intend to produce hydrogen. Now, we have throughout the island, throughout all of New York really, grid constraints where sometimes on a hot day like yesterday, we might see capacity issues or brownout situations. What we're working on throughout the state is how do we minimize that peak load through multiple storage media or through, of course, through energy efficiency or load shifting. That's taking the load away from the peak periods or having additional capacity for the peak periods. So with this project, we will be taking electrons from the sun, producing hydrogen from water for long duration storage. Typically electric batteries, short duration. Electric battery doesn't last all that long without a recharge. Hydrogen can be stored for months with bare losses. And then as we need, we would run the hydrogen through a fuel cell for electric production. Could be for peak shaving. The hospital also would like to purchase an electric ambulance or 2. Problem with fast charging of larger engines, batteries, it draws a lot of load. So we don't want to compromise any loads inside the hospitals by using hospital circuits to charge vehicles. So hydrogen provides itself as a very useful resource for charging and for peak shaving. So that's what this project is about. And next slide.
So you will see the last slide. We have tested it at Stony Brook for the last 5-6 years. The concept that we're talking about, and we received funding from several agencies. It came to a point where now, and just to let you know, this particular energy storage, large scale, is not just in this country it's needed, it's a global issue. And there's a race for technologies. And this is one of the very, very advanced technology that we already have tested in the labs, in actually not small, bigger, but we just want to go one level higher. And this is this project. So what we did was we had the data. We applied for a competitive grant from New York State, NYSERDA, and we were granted the money. So we got $5 million for that. So, and these are all our partners because they're also vendors. They are fuel cell companies. You probably recognize Plug Power, and Hydroxia is the hydrogen storage company. Con Edison, Northwell Health, obviously. So Stony Brook and Northwell are the lead, and the others are actually also partners who are also bringing the technologies to put the whole thing together. So they're all the partners. Next slide.
And Con Edison, because we're not in their utility, they're very interested. So they want to understand what we're doing, so we have on the advisory committee representation from Con Ed.
Yeah, the reason for this, you will see actually is here, what's the objective of the project, right? We want to produce hydrogen what we need in an electrolyzer, put that in a tank, which has a solid resorbent, and therefore, for example, if you just took a big tank and pressurized hydrogen, and you all know about the compressed natural gas vehicles, right? Just think about that, which are commercial. However, when you go to hydrogen, because the energy density is low, you need about, instead of 3,000 psi in a tank, you need 10,000 psi, which is very hot. So to circumvent that, there are solid resorbents that absorb hydrogen inside the pores. Therefore, you can draw the pressure down to 500 psi.
So low pressure and ambient temperature.
Can you just say that again?
Yeah. So hydrogen
Right.
is 1/3 the energy density of natural gas.
Right.
Compressed natural gas CNG vehicles are on the road for a long time. What we are doing here, but if you want to replace with hydrogen, well, everybody is trying to say, okay, no carbon, therefore bad for the environment, right? Decarbonization. What this does is that if you want to replace total methane, natural gas, with hydrogen, you will need, to get the same amount of energy, you will need 3 times more. That means the pressure has to go up to 10,000, which is very high.
Right.
However, for the last 7 years, in Germany and mostly in Germany, a technology was developed with these, there's a solid material. It actually soaks up hydrogen.
It's like sand.
It like soaks up hydrogen. And therefore, what we have is a tank with a hydroxy company that produces commercial scale. So we're going to buy one tank from them, their partners. And what it does is, if I want to put now hydrogen in there, we'll store it. But the pressure is at room temperature storage and only 500 psi.
Typically.
I guess I'm missing that
So
connection.
what-
I'd love
what-
to see some.
So one of the things that we have, so for, let's say propane, the barbecue grill, right? We're familiar with that. That's liquid fuel, right? So anytime you have a gas, you can do 3 things. You can do a couple of things. You could pressurize it, put it in a big storage tank.
Yes.
You can liquefy it, put it in a storage tank. Both of those are extremely high pressures.
Right.
What we have
And cold.
here, what's that?
And cold.
And cold.
Yes, that's the third.
Yeah.
It's several thousands of PSI, pounds per square inch in a
Yeah.
pressure. So there's a boom, I don't want to be technical, but I explain, there's a potential. So what we have investigated here is what is a product that will absorb the hydrogen, okay?
So to
at a
store
lower
it,
pressure.
you're
So
absorbing
to
it.
store, we're absorbing
Like
it in
a
the metal.
sandwich,
That's
as
what
opposed
I
to-
was
That is
missing.
not-
Yes, I know, I know, that's why I wanted to go over the 3
Yeah,
types. Is that helpful?
So since it's absorbed and stored, there's really no potential leak then, because is it a?
There's no
It's
pressure.
bonded, right, and it's
Yes.
at low.
Okay.
No, there is a pressure, but very
Yes.
low pressure.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
Typically,
It's
it's
not
thousands
just
of
free
pounds.
gas.
No, that's the reason,
absorbed.
the
It's
pressure
literally
goes down.
how the earth stores carbon.
Yes.
But what
Okay.
kind of
Exactly.
material is it being stored in?
Oh, so this is one card that is called mixed metal. It's a mixture of 5 metals.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
what those metals can actually form hydride. So therefore, because they form hydride, they can store the hydrogen way more than what you were saying, high pressure.
Right.
So therefore,
That makes a
so
lot
get
more
the
sense.
same amount of energy.
Uh-huh.
So I think, let me go back. I think just think about as a, what they call the gasoline gallon equivalent, right? So you have your gas tank, you fill it, and then you get so many miles with the gasoline, right? In the tank. You replace that now with 3,000 PSI compressed natural gas, gives the same amount of miles. And just comparative energy. You want hydrogen, you can store this in this material, and get the same amount of energy that you get from the CNG. That's what.
But then how, so the way I'm understanding this is
Yes.
your fancy solar panels are going to be capturing hydrogen. This
Well,
is
the
not.
the electrical energy.
The electrical energy.
Yes.
Right?
And we'll use
And
that.
use that energy to put the hydrogen into the.
No.
Break water
Okay,
into hydrogen and oxygen.
Right.
Actually, ironically, the waste product is oxygen, which is
You know, it's
Yes,
possible.
which is a day 2 project.
You know what might be helpful actually, there are only 7-8 slides.
Okay.
If you go through that,
Okay.
you will see, I know exactly what you're asking, probably will be clear.
We'll have it in.
sorry. I
Yeah.
jumped.
That's okay,
No,
that's
that's
okay.
You're asking the same questions
Next-
I did.
next
when
slide.
you first described.
So this is actually you wanna go through this?
So Mather Campus, North Country Road, Belterre. On the far end, we have solar. Those are the ones that will be replaced soon. We're adding more solar here. So we'll have about a 0.5 megawatt of capacity, which is a pretty significant array size. So right here, we just have storage and maintenance equipment. This pad will house the 3 main components, which is the electrolyzer, which takes water to create hydrogen, the storage vessel, as we just described, and then the fuel cell, which takes the hydrogen and puts it back in when necessary. And it's up out of the way. And as we were developing the emergency department, we have some of the electric lines already up there. There's a lot of elements that are just coincidental to the project.
The new solar panels that are gonna go in, are they associated with this?
They will be, but that's not.
That's a day
yeah,
2
we're going
project,
to-
that's not this
We'll be
demonstration
applying
project, that's,
separately
yeah.
for that.
And this is primarily to fuel the electrical vehicles.
And also on those hot afternoons, to have that capacity available for the hospital and or the grid. It's all the same.
But I just want to be clear that the demonstration right now is really not a commercial scale. Okay, just want to be clear. We are just trying to get enough data that then make a package, then goes to the commercial side.
But it is equivalent to an electric battery. I mean, even though it's only
Yeah.
a demonstration,
It's
electric
about
batteries are
yeah.
kind of common enough now. We're trying to demonstrate that hydrogen
I think that's.
or thermal energy could be used as a battery.
So,
Mather
is this-
Hospital.
I'm sorry, are you, with the hydrogen, you're creating electricity? And then if you wanna use it for the ambulances,
That's right.
you would
Correct.
just, okay.
I think that,
Well,
so
one of
there's
the
a system.
parallel, I guess one of the parallel is about 8 years ago, we put in a thermal storage plant. So we make ice at night when the grid has low load, and we melt that ice through the day, which also reduces that peak. So this is just another form of energy storage.
So this actually is the whole, these are all containers, all containerized. There are 4 units. One is the very, so you saw that what Mike just showed you, right? With the site is. This container has what they call electrolyzer. You put water in, and it comes out is oxygen and hydrogen. It happened with the hospital, if they want to get oxygen also, that's fine. But hydrogen is what we are going for, right? That hydrogen from there goes into this piece here, where the solid absorbent is. And this is going to be stored there. The whole idea of whole project is to really show, number one, that unlike batteries, this can stay for months without any problem. Under very low conditions in room temperature, small pressure, and even if, nothing is, and even if there's a leak, it will go, and that's it. There's nothing is going to do anything.
Right, there's no toxicity.
No.
And you're releasing oxygen as a byproduct, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's going into the air or?
Right now,
filter?
oxygen is going, it's just small. So, but I would imagine that if it goes to the next stage, since a hospital, they buy oxygen all the time. They can probably capture that and use right there in the hospital.
It's that pure?
Could you speak to the fire suppression and
Yes.
emergency response?
Yes. So I'm going to go to that in a minute. So in here right now, and what's stored here at month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, we just want to see what the response is. And the good thing about this is that you have stored it, right? And you want it back. All you need to do is about 70 degrees Celsius, right? You can just slightly heat it, all the hydrogen comes out for your use. And then that can go into a fuel cell, and there you make power on demand, and then you can use it in your EV charger or anything else.
So you're not those aren't hydrogen vehicles?
No.
Because they're
EV.
which are very cool.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
are hydrogen vehicles.
No, you can,
But that's not what, okay.
this project is purpose is to demonstrate to NYSERDA, to New York State, that we can store it. It will stay for a long time, unlike batteries. And at will, we can take it out, for example, for emergency response, whatever is needed, on demand, within a matter of minutes.
We could do exactly what you said.
Yeah,
and
but then
we're-
you would need high pressure and cold because that.
Correct. And
Yeah.
we have been discussing with a group in California who we're working with, because they're using hydrogen for buses in both Fresno and Frisco.
Yeah.
And we visited the plant and, yeah, so
So
same idea.
are you also trying to demonstrate that it doesn't take more energy to do this than it does
Oh,
to
definitely.
get out?
If it's going to become commercial, right?
Yeah.
So, by the way, we do have all the companies. In addition to that, a lot of investors are ready to roll because they see this as a competitive global.
So why Mather? Why are you?
We have this, well, we started at Staten Island, where we have right now in play some solar projects. New York City is a challenge. Also Staten Island in particular, they had some real hostile reactions to electric batteries. And as a result, they're trying to it's also a hospital, they don't want confrontation. And we want to build a new wing there, so they don't want to stir up the neighbors if we need to build a new wing. Mather has the solar array already aligned. We're not New York City.
And also the where it is, the area that you showed.
Yeah, and it's also.
It is,
right,
no, there are no
the
neighbors.
density,
What is the distance to the closest home?
About 200 yards, close to the
That's
property
exactly
line.
Within 600 feet?
Yeah.
And there's no construction required on this project. We already have the infrastructure there. We have the pad, we have the security gates, we have everything there. So there's really gonna be no
Modules.
infrastructure.
I mean,
Modules, yes.
I would, I'm sure we all would like to see, the demonstrating of safety.
Oh,
like
yeah.
what,
So
where,
let me go one more.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Next
another
slide.
reason Con Ed's involved, but also New York City Fire Department, because New York City Fire
Next slide.
Department has.
Yeah, there we go. So that is just to show where the existing solar array. Second is the process control unit, and that's the pad that Mike was talking about. And that'd be more than enough to put 4 units together to demonstrate what we want to do. Next slide. Okay, this is all about that. So each of these units come with every safety features. They are self-contained. They conform to all the EPA and other agencies.
But are you using them in the method that they have been tested? Or
Yes.
is this a whole new use?
Yes. No. So these are all conformed to every standard.
We're not using Model 1, Serial 1. These
Okay.
are all approved, these are all.
But they're
approved-
approved for what you're
Yes,
doing with
they're
them?
all proven technology, okay, we're just packaging them in a slightly and modified version than other places, but each of them have proven technology. This project that we're talking about is proven already in California and in Europe. So we're now trying to come, United States, trying to go as we go green, we're embracing this type of green technology. And this is a
And what
demonstration.
kind
There are similar projects in the US that are.
Yeah. And some of them-
Piecemeal. We are the only one, actually, just to let you know, nobody has done, each of the 4 separately have been, EV charges, everybody, so even in Target outside, you got EV charger. Everybody uses that. That's commercial. Plus, fuel cells, those are commercial, right? The only new thing is in this, and as I said here, that's why I put in there, safety compliance with an NFP and NEC code standard, everything's, they actually have these things in Europe.
But is this the first time in the United States these components are being put together
No.
in this way?
Thank you, that's what I was trying
Yeah,
to.
Is this the first time in the US these components are being put together in this way?
All of them together, yes.
That's why it's a demonstration project.
Demonstration.
It's a demonstration.
Correct.
Does this exist anywhere else in the world this way? So this is the first time in the world these components are being
Possibly.
put together
Yeah,
in this way.
I know, well, just to go
But-
back, the components, so the first component being the electrolyzer. There are electrolyzers
Those
that
are
go
commercial.
into this.
Yeah.
Often, the gas is mixed with natural gas. Up until about the 50s, regular natural gas was called town gas. It was manufactured from coal, and it had about 30–40% hydrogen mixed in. So as we look to improve, Long Island electric grid is heavily reliant on Port Jeff and Northport, and our grid mix is pretty dirty. Upstate is the cleanest grid in the country. So part of the idea, one of the ideas that we were initially speaking about, which NYSERDA preferred we didn't, was just to take the hydrogen, mix it with the natural gas, and put it into the boilers, hence cleaning the natural gas going into the hospital. As we started developing the project further, the vendor suggested this, and those two elements are common together. Then the next pairing is this with fuel cells. So that's another common. So yes, each of the three together with the fourth as the EV charging is unique, but
It's
each
the
of these.
first time in the world this is this way.
I don't want to go that far, because, I mean, we like to talk it up, but I don't know if we go that far. We'll say in the country, and I think that would be a fair enough statement.
Yeah, because Europeans are way ahead of us, just to let you know.
Yes.
So therefore, the idea, so by the way, what you were talking about before, last 15 years in Europe, there have been at least 6-7 different projects mixing hydrogen with natural gas that have been tested, like at least 15 different projects in different UK, France, Germany, everywhere.
Another point, you
but
brought up cost. So,
Well, just like taking more
Yes.
energy to create.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
But the idea also, why a demonstration project, as we produce more energy from sun and wind, there are going to be points on mild days when you have more energy than you need. You can store it in an electric battery, but you have the challenges therein. Store it in hydrogen.
Yeah.
So hydrogen is an article that
Yeah.
we were involved in for NYU Tandon, Pat Sappinsley in the New Yorker magazine, and she referred to hydrogen as the holy grail of energy storage because it has all these capabilities and flexibility. And that's what we're going to need as we transition away from fossil fuels.
No, that's a good point. You were talking about the price point. So the whole idea is, as Mike mentioned, we are producing a lot of renewables, whether it's offshore wind or whether it's solar. So when you're producing way more, is the pricing.
Yeah.
They are banking on that time. They say, okay, give me the extra, I'll give you this price, and therefore you produce that hydrogen and store it. And then when you need it, you bring it up, and therefore that's a peak shaving. That's the idea.
Okay.
But that's around
What
that.
kind of maintenance does this system need?
Yeah, that's.
Definitely maintenance to it.
Next,
but each of the components, we've already spoken with them where we need to bring a technician in every 6 months or so to grease the fittings.
Okay, so I just want to go through this because we were only allotted like 20 minutes. I didn't put like 50 slides in there. However, if you look at everything here, all 4 units they are put together, the way it's going to look like, electrolyzer, water goes in, hydrogen and oxygen comes out. That's the only, there's no other emissions, right? Hydrogen storage, it is a solid absorbent, hydrogen goes in, you heat it up, it comes out. There's nothing else coming out. Fuel cell, you already know how they operate. You put hydrogen in, power comes out. That's all you got. And then in the last one is the EV charger, that power goes to EV charger, That's how it works. So if you look, you take the whole thing together, there's probably, I mean, there's emissions, but there's no emissions in it, right?
And how about the noise of it?
No, there's no noise.
No,
The only noise, fuel cells are the quietest thing.
I mean, all of it is.
No.
Okay.
The noise that you hear in the background here
Mm-hmm.
is louder than
Okay.
the components.
I just want to comment on what you said before, to your question and your possible concern. Items, let's say the 4 items. Items 1 and 3 have been combined, 2 and 4 have operated, 1 and 4 have operated, but we're now putting 1, 2, 3, and 4 together. Does that help?
That was my first question. The second is
Yeah.
the concern of fire.
Yes.
If there's a fire under or near item 2, that solid hydrogen will go back to gas. And if
Solid-
that gas explodes, what happens?
Well, there's no reason for it to explode, so he's has
Okay.
a doctorate in chemical engineering.
No, I'm a professor of chemical engineering.
teaches
So
this.
we are working very closely. As I said, I didn't want to take like an hour here, but we have all the documentation for the safety. If that's what you're asking, we're more than happy to provide you with that. But basically what we are saying is, if you look at, okay, one more thing I just want to tell you is that initially we thought we can just fundamentally what NYSERDA is paying us for the project is to demonstrate that we can actually store hydrogen longer than the batteries and get it back and to push to the fuel cell, produce power. That's what they're paying for, really. And that was our choice to, instead of trucking hydrogen, buy from somewhere and then put it there. Instead of doing that, we said, why don't we bring electrolyzer on site? So that electrolyzer only works when we need to fill in the second part. It doesn't work all the time. We will be only, you charge, if you are finished, it's gone, testing, then you start the electrolyzer again, produce enough hydrogen to just fill it. So that actually is totally inconsequential because that.
I think that my concern is
Yes.
that's fine.
Yes.
The electrolyzer is off. The hydrogen has been stored for weeks in a solid state in
Right.
item number 2.
Right.
You decide number 3 to turn it on,
Yes.
to get the fuel. There's a spark in 3. It goes back to 2.
Oh, no, it doesn't work that way because all the unit comes isolated. There is no back pressures. You know what, they are check valves.
There would be a check valve.
No, they are all check valves.
But
Nothing goes back.
if the worst to the worst happens.
Somebody drove into it with a
Yeah,
bulldozer.
or there's a brush fire.
Okay.
And the hydroxide tank heats up quickly.
Okay.
And it turns back to gas.
Right.
Release.
It releases.
At pressure.
There's a home 600 feet away.
Okay. Hydrogen is the smallest molecule. Now you can correct me, I'll give this the simple layman version. Because it's so tiny, it aerosolizes so readily into the atmosphere. And so people also think about the Hindenburg.
You are talking about you are really talking about that something happens and you are saying there's a fire. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, an explosion,
There's a fire, an explosion.
Yeah.
Is that you said that solid could go back to gas in a matter of minutes.
No. Solid doesn't go back to gas. Solid is
So you
solid.
need
It's a
70
metal.
degrees.
The only thing what it does is the hydrogen actually goes into the solid.
Yeah.
Solid
We have to it's not like it's, as soon as you take the pressure off, it evaporates. We have to heat the metal
to get the
release
hydrogen out.
the hydrogen.
So what he's saying
Is
now
if there is a brush fire.
If there's a like any pressure vessel, any pressure vessel, ASME pressure vessel, they all have what's called a relief valve on it, all right? And if it exceeds whatever the number is, it's safe, here it's gonna be probably 600 PSI.
But
that relief valve will release hydrogen into the atmosphere. Hydrogen is a safe gas in the atmosphere, and it will quickly disperse. So it's not like a natural gas. if that's
Again,
what you think.
my concern being a resident, not living too far from this, maybe a mile. If a gas station blows up, we know the gas tanks, what that radius will be.
Right,
how far it will be.
right.
We're learning about battery energy storage systems.
Right.
What type of past incidents have occurred with these hydroxia tanks, and what has those radiuses been? Has it been
Okay,
a quarter mile?
so there's a whole, as I said to you, we work with actually there's a ASCHE, hydrogen safety. So we work with them and we have a plan. Then one of the things they also, as I said, something can always something can happen, right? Not because you intended it, because it happened, right? That's what you're saying. So for that purpose, they actually in collaboration with NYSERDA, they are saying is that they're more than happy to train firefighters if that's what is needed.
No, I live across the street.
Right.
What Mr. Siegel is saying is, if this blows,
Yes.
and you're giving us a best case scenario of the hydrogen is gonna go back into the air.
What's the worst case?
The worst case
Right.
is okay, so.
I want, wait,
Right.
I want
destroy
the
the
worst
hospital.
case scenario. I
Yes.
would like to know, there's a metal tank there.
Yes.
And if anything horrible happens and the tank goes boom, does that metal end up in my front yard? That's what I wanna know.
Does it
Okay,
destroy
so
the
there,
emergency wing?
this tanks, well, as I said, it's a very low pressure hydrogen. Because of that, because remember most of the hydrogen absorbs inside the solid.
Mm-hmm.
Even if something happens, it's a slow release. It's not just like everything just blows up like if it's a 10,000 PSI tank and something happens, everything goes together. This one is a slow release. Because of this very, very controlled, number one. Number two is these tanks are rated at least 4 or 5 times more than what the pressure is inside. So even if there's it's a function of temperature, that's what you're talking about. So if I heat it up, gas is going to expand. Okay, this is what happens. Right. But these tanks are meant to be at least 4 times more rated, ESME rated, to actually even do anything about it.
Explain the metal hydride. I mean, I just go back to the analogy of that metal hydride is a sand that's made out of metals. And the metals might have pores, will have pores, like those toys, the dog toys that have all the, or we just went through the pandemic. Remember when we saw the first scary pictures of, where they have those little arms on. So it's kind of like a sand with that. And those little arms that are coming off are what the hydrogen bonds to. So you have just a mass of sand with hydrogen in there. So as a result of that, it releases slowly as necessary to go into the fuel cell. And that's why any blast should be minimized. Like going back to the Hindenburg, and even the Hindenburg didn't blow up.
But you don't have any statistics or any kind of information on it, say, if a blast is minimized, you can't tell me?
What's the radius? We're talking 100 feet, 500 feet?
So,
Blast, is it 100 foot radius, 500 foot radius?
I don't
How
even know
close
if
to
there
your
has
new
been. That's
emergency?
what I'm
no,
saying. It doesn't seem
so,
like there's
so
any
what I'm
evidence
saying
of
is
it occurring
the
because
metal tank,
it's not a reason.
right?
It doesn't.
If it heats up very, very fast, and there is expansion, and that's what's going to happen. When you heat something up, a gas inside a container, it expands, right? What I'm saying is number one is 4 times. Number two is there's a even if it cracks, it's going because the gas is inside the solid.
Right.
So whole solid has to be heated by the time then all the gas can come at the same time. What I'm saying is because it's inside that solid, it's slow. Even if it's what you were talking about, all of a sudden there's a brush fire. Even that happens, it will release slowly. It can go boom in one side. That's the only difference between.
This will be fire suppressed with foam and everything?
Yeah. That's again, we will take, but the size of these things are so small, the pressure is so small each tank, to go anything like that,
It seems like a fine idea of putting these components together. It's just, is this the right location for it?
Well, even beyond, if I may, that I would think Hydroxia had to do some type of experiment on their tanks to see when they blew, if they blew, how they blew.
That's right.
But what I was getting to, when I just went down a rabbit hole, was if, as this process moves forward, you're gonna have to go before the public. And, you know, if you don't have, I mean, the answers to something like this that are concise,
Yes.
you're gonna have an awful lot of pushback. I mean, even, you take a tree down there and there's gonna be people marching down the street. I mean,
Fully
you know,
understood.
it's,
Fully understood.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is we didn't want to put like 10 slides in there.
Right.
But initially when we had made a presentation, there were 10 slides were just based on that.
Mhm.
So hydroxia has all the data that you were asking.
Right, so I would say if you can
Yeah.
get that to us, that would be really
Okay.
helpful. You know,
Okay,
to
so
have
that's
that-
one point that we can plug.
You work for Hydroxia?
No, I
No,
don't. No, I'm a
he's actually a
professor. No, I don't go.
But, yeah, I would, you know, if you're gonna, if this,
This, you know, he's the site and he's the smarts. I'm putting the package together to get all the
He's the
wiring. I'm the
Mechanical.
I'm the mechanical,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
putting everything together.
He used to work at the power plant also.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah.
So we're asking these questions because we know how the process goes, as Gil Anderson said, and you know, when it gets to a public forum, you're gonna get that question very
Yes.
Right.
specifically.
You know,
Right.
our elementary school is 1,000 feet away.
right.
So you have to be really prepared, you know,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
has.
I mean, the process seems really cool. I think it's a great idea.
Done blast testing and what.
No, they have
what's
all the
results.
data.
No, but,
Yeah.
yeah,
They
just-
have all the data, that's not a problem, but
That's
I'm
all.
saying I didn't want to put everything here. because-
Understood,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, that's fine, but just,
It's a great idea, but I don't know if it's a great idea in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
Right.
That's
That's
where
the
we worry. Also, you had mentioned that you're gonna upgrade the solar panels not too far away. Is it going to be in the same amount of space, or will you have to expand that?
No, we would be replacing the existing with new panels that are about 3 times the capacity. so
But they
But
are
size-wise.
going to expand it
it's in between the parking lots.
in between.
Yes,
Right, but they're
right.
not taking down any
We're not
trees
getting no
to
more
go-
trees or
No,
anything.
Right,
else.
okay.
It's
Have
in
to
the
ask a
question.
question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trees,
And
then
for the
Wood
tanks,
better than-
the tank is not going to be, you don't have to clear any additional area for the tanks?
we can go back to the property.
Right, it's all, it would
site
all
plan.
fit on to the
It all fit
70
in
by
the
70
existing
pad.
pad that's up there
Right.
now.
Up in the upper
Right,
right-hand
right.
corner?
The
Correct.
homes are just north of that, and the
Correct.
school is just north of that.
Correct. And the new, this is a grass area, and that's where the new solar panels would be. The first piece is that set. We're also adding a greenhouse too, just as a, so we can produce food, but that's a side. And we advertise on it.
I
Tangential.
mean, if this blew up, you don't want it landing on your brand new emergency.
Yeah.
And it would be good to know, you know, what type of, any fire suppression or anything like that you would put in.
Yeah, we can
Maintenance
I would-
and,
yeah, I would-
and
Yeah,
security.
Hydroxia has all.
You know,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
people hear that it's a brand-new thing and
Mhm.
they become interested, and not all people are good-hearted.
No.
Absolutely. I think there was, probably 1 or 2 more slides, I just want to, just finish here. Next one. Okay, basically the NYSERDA is paying us to get the key data collector or storage of hydrogen and low pressures in the integrated system. We want to look at the life cycle analysis, how much CO2 we can reduce compared to what they're using now. And also then look at the process economics and then design a commercial system. That's the whole idea. Because it's a very small system what we have. And that is why it's like more like if something happened, it's just right there, it's not gonna go 1,000 feet away. That's what I'm trying to say. Next one. So this is what we have actually at Stony Brook in the lab. And this system is the storage system right here. And that's the fuel cell.
You've done this on a small scale already.
We have 5 years worth of data that we have done in the lab. Now it's not small actually, it's pretty big system. It's at 14 cylinders we have in the lab. And this have been, we're testing for the last 5 years. That data we have.
His PhD students are working
But not with a hydroxia tank.
Oh no, this is similar.
Okay.
No, there are 2 competitors. It's from the other guys.
This is actually stored at high pressure, those
Oh,
cylinders
okay.
right there, just like oxygen cylinders in the hospital.
Mhm.
Or, yeah, so.
Yeah, so what I was going to actually even suggest here is that since this is actually operating in our labs, I'm more than happy to actually invite all of you to have a visit to look at what it physically looks like. What we are talking about is going to be slightly bigger system.
Would you consider burying these hydroxias in the ground 10 feet?
That actually is not.
So-
We didn't actually consider that, but.
Well, yeah, because I was gonna ask Dan, I mean, you might have to get hazardous environment, the environmental hazardous.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Suffolk County
Barbara's
Department of Health
saying,
will have to get involved?
you have to
If you go
contain it
underground,
and,
not if you go above ground.
But
Because
and
anything-
safeguards
anytime you go
and
underground, you have that.
transportation and,
Yeah, a lot of the slides that Devendra mentioned that we
Okay.
pulled are tied to safety. I mentioned New York City Fire Department because they have concerns about, quite often, the typical way that hydrogen is transported is at high pressure.
yeah.
And there's concerns about that, so that's why the fire department was involved, and they,
Okay.
very interesting.
So as I said, I think since we have an operating system, smaller one,
Anybody would like to?
more than happy to, I would like to invite all of you to visit. You can physically see what it looks like.
Right.
And my students have been working in the lab, I have got about 18 students.
Right.
In the lab for the last 5 years.
where is the nearest hydroxy, the tanks you're gonna use, those giant tanks, where's the nearest one physically located, active?
Oh, that is in,
Connecticut? Across the pond?
Is it in
Connecticut?
Connecticut, right?
Do you know
No.
the town?
Hydroxy.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I think if you're going to move, which it sounds like, yeah, you're gonna move forward with this, you're gonna have to think of.
Those are good questions,
Yeah,
because
the-
you're thinking like, people are gonna ask, where's the proven technology?
Right.
Some safety concern. This is great information,
Yeah.
we can provide all this.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I think will be really useful, I already noted obviously about if something happens,
Right.
then what? Okay, that's one. What is the other biggest question? As I said, maybe.
Well, maintenance, security, what kind of maintenance does it take?
Yeah, and, if God forbid something happens, no matter what happens, they're gonna call the fire department. So there's gonna be some need for training on behalf
We
of
will
the
provide
local.
that.
Yeah.
You put this out with standard
Yeah.
water?
And that's why New York City Fire Department, as well as Con Edison, is involved, because they know this is evolving technology.
Right.
So that's why they're part of the team, because this is this is going to go
You're
to
from
the
New
next
York, it's
level
okay.
in the future.
She works at power
Okay?
All right.
The training for the first responders.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that will be part of
Like we
our
did the
job.
batteries in the cars, we had to do all that.
Right.
That will we definitely have a team of experts come here, give a course. Because there are courses developed by the professional now. And we are, of course, working with them to see if they can, they said they will be, NYSERDA actually is offering to bring them and train them. That's not a problem. But, so what are the main question? Of course, the safety issue that we can provide you all that. What else is the concern?
How long do you think it'll be before you can get a report to NYSERDA for evaluation review?
Yeah, so
How many years is?
we are looking at about maybe 18 months.
18.
What's operational, to then give them?
Well, probably 12 months, I guess. By the time the units are put in, and then, of course, gather data. Maybe.
So this is experimental.
That's right.
You're seeing how all the components fit together. Do you anticipate, as long as things are running well, it'll just stay there and
Again,
and
that
produce
depends.
like-
It's small, this is very small unit,
Uh-huh.
what we have.
But from our perspective, the
Yes.
Northwell side, if we're going through all this work,
Uh-huh.
we'd like to keep it there because we have an emergency generator. We're looking at fuel cells at some of our other sites. Other hospitals have fuel cells. Fuel cells are now considered as emergency backup. So everything we're talking about enhances the resiliency and reliability of the facility.
Right.
Yeah, but at this point, as I said, our agreement is we'll just gather data. And at that point, if Northwell decides that they have to come back, because we are just talking about experimental, right? It's short duration.
How many people are you gonna have if this is an experimental way to produce hydrogen? How many
No,
people?
store hydrogen.
Store hydrogen, thank you.
Yeah.
How many people are you going to have monitoring this? Are they there full-time? Is it something somebody comes in twice a day?
It's all computerized. I mean, we do have staff on 24/7.
Mhm.
But the idea behind this is it's a standalone application.
But to
We
your
do
point, it's a
have-
demonstration project, so we have to glom as much data as
Also,
necessary.
from every
From every aspect, so in order to analyze it, we have to have way more information than is probably needed to operate it, because we don't wanna analyze it, and make sure it works.
Yeah. In addition to the Northwell people on site, Stony Brook obviously is going to have 2-3 people come in every day to monitor, collect data, go back, analyze, I mean, that's the point. So there'll be at least 6-7 people going in and out, in terms of involvement.
How deeply has Northwell vetted this thing? I mean, has this gone way up the food chain?
My boss is the chief engineering officer. Actually, we have a presentation next week with the entire executive staff, from Dr. D'Angelo, who's the new president.
Well, you have a hospital next door. You have a lot at stake if something goes wrong, so, yeah.
And I guess, but, you know, it's new, and nascent technologies also, of course, bring up these concerns. If I told you we were going to have this tank, and the tank's only about this thick, and it's going to be filled with many thousands of pounds of gas, and it's gonna be sitting right outside the hospital, we'd get concerned. That's our
Yeah, of
oxygen
course.
tanks. And we have the oxygen cylinders in every single hallway.
But those,
patient. Yes.
those are covered by
Yep.
hazardous materials, I mean,
Absolutely.
like
Yes.
highly regulated.
Yes.
Mhm.
And if you mess up one part of any of that, you're gonna
If you
get,
break the top off of
and you're gonna,
one,
you know,
they,
somebody is
yes,
watching you.
yes, oh, yeah.
So I guess what we want answered is, who's watching? How, you know, like, how are you going to make sure that this is
Monitored, safe.
Right.
And if something happens, how do you put out a fire?
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
battery energy storage system, we had 3 fires in New York State, and they
3 summers ago.
they
Yep.
lasted
Yep.
a while.
Yep.
They couldn't put them out. They were
Lost
so
Landing in
hot.
California went for months, and then
So
caught fire
if
again.
one of these tanks caught on fire, would
Yep.
you have to evacuate the entire hospital?
Well, my impression, as I said before, is it volatilizes,
It is,
disperses
it's a
into
matter
the
of,
atmosphere.
it's a matter of minutes.
Yeah, but, you know,
Worst case scenario, the relief valve breaks or
Right.
melts
Yeah.
because
Right.
it's hot,
Right.
you know, so then what
Before
happens?
the horizon,
Good
these
point.
things happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, so what we are saying is that since it's slow release, that's the whole idea of not high pressure storage versus in a solid absorbent.
So
and it's a slow release.
it would be good to have information for the public if the relief valve breaks and it slowly releases, but all of it gets released into the tank
Right.
and the relief valve is broken, what happens?
The what if scenarios.
What ifs?
Right.
The
Right.
worst case scenario.
Yes.
That's so you gotta really have.
So we can
handy.
definitely provide that, because we already have those.
That's ChatGPT. It will.
But it might not be right.
Yeah, no, we have that anyway.
Okay. Fascinating.
Yeah. So is there anything else, of course I can cover the main comment on the safety side, we can cover that. Is there anything else that we need to know? So as I said, I mean, initially we were thinking we can truck hydrogen, not electrolyzer, but from our perspective, it's way safer to produce how much you need, you put in there and we shut it down.
Right.
That is not producing anymore. Rather than there's a huge truck sitting on the side for no reason with a lot of hydrogen in it.
I have a question.
And that, yes,
The absorbent
Yes.
material, does that have to get replaced at any point, or is it permanent?
it lasts for a long time. It's have go through cycles, right? You absorb, it's desorb, you absorb, desorb. It goes through several thousand cycles before you have to put it.
can you replace the sand, or you have to replace the whole tank?
No, you just take the sand out.
Where's
You
cost?
basically swap it, let me put it this way, you give to them, they'll swap it, and they will reclaim it, and then regenerate.
Is that considered hazardous material?
No, these are like regular metals, like nickel.
Titanium is the other one, is another manufacturer we're looking at. is
I always wonder why you
titanium
didn't bury your giant oxygen tanks for safety, and these
No,
tanks should be buried too.
yeah, but I guess it hasn't, I guess it's, we do hazard vulnerability analyses, and we assess the potential catastrophe against the probability. And to your point about battery energy, we prefer not to have them on the property because of what you just described, the fires that occurred. While the probability is low, the severity can be high. When I
So
started.
we're just questioning.
Yes, no, I
The
understand.
probability is low for this, but we don't know what the severity is if this was the catch-on fire.
And I don't think they know either.
No,
No, if it's an experimental thing, I
Oh,
don't
no,
think,
they-
do you
they
have
do
the
for the
statistics?
testing.
we don't have it,
We don't have
We have the data.
to give it to you.
No, right now, we don't have it, I'm saying. we
But
can-
you have the data
Yes,
from,
from the company.
From the
from
company.
the company.
Yeah, they have looked at different scenarios, if the relief valve goes, tank cracks, something happens, they have all the scenarios.
That's what I'm, right, like a relief valve operational, relief valve failure,
Yeah.
brush fire in the adjacency, a strike by something that cracks open the vessel.
Sabotage.
What are.
Yeah.
Sabotage.
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Domestic terrorism.
And
Terrible
you're
things happen.
creating hydrogen from water, but you're not using the cold compression to get the atom.
For storage, that's on the storage side of
That's
the
on the
cold
store,
compression. we
the
need.
cold compression, okay. But how, and what method are you using to?
So there's three. One would be very, very cold liquid. One would be very high pressure gas.
Mhm.
This is the third, and that's why, because it is in a sand mix. It's at
So-
standard temperature.
So are you running water through the sand mix? How,
It's
No,
just.
you're mixing the
just
two
bonds.
processes. The
Okay.
electrolyzer takes the water and separates the oxygen and the hydrogen.
hydrogen
Then the hydrogen goes from, the electric oxygen goes up in
into the air?
Right, the hydrogen then goes into that white
The
container,
storage
hydroxide,
cell.
the storage.
Okay.
That has
Gets absorbed into the metals, okay?
It's like
And then,
high school
in order to release that, we heat that metal back up, and it releases it on a slow pace, and then we take it to the fuel cell. okay?
On demand.
And then the fuel cell now takes that hydrogen, okay, and puts it back to make it water,
Mhm.
and then we get electricity from that. So we're making water, we're taking water, breaking it apart to make water again.
Quick,
And in that process,
question here.
energy.
Really not that important, but the water you use in the very beginning, are you using potable water? How much water do you use?
Yeah,
Are
so,
you using reclaimed rainwater?
so the system they
A lot of
have,
ideas.
it comes with a purification
Yeah.
unit.
But it's standard water.
So standard water goes in, but they have a purifier inside the system, electrolyzer. It purifies to the specs, what they need, because otherwise you start.
How many gallons per day unit you use?
Okay, so let me tell you simply is that if you take 11 gallons of water, you can get 1 gallon of hydrogen out of that because if you look at the weight.
Yeah. Specific weight.
The molecule.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's 2
It's all
grams.
coming back.
It's 2 grams.
Chemistry in high school
out
is
of
coming
18.
back.
2 grams out of 18. Simple.
Yeah.
It's 11, 1.
So, but that's good to know.
Yeah.
The public would.
Yeah, definitely.
Be good to know.
Yeah, we have the numbers, obviously, a simple number. That's what it is. But the whole idea essentially, the new technologies are coming up. And one of the biggest, what is happening in New York State right now, right? They are walking back on the CLCPA. I'm involved heavily with NYSERDA projects. But the reason for that is because energy storage is one of the biggest impediment right now. Because all renewables, right?
Well, also, one of the.
And how do you streamline?
The CLCPA states a dispatchable emission-free resource to supplant natural gas.
Right.
This is that.
Right.
Because there isn't another one except for renewable natural gas, perhaps from waste treatment plants.
So obviously, when this was not just given to us, we are not a company. So we submitted a proposal in NYSERDA from a university. So we went through a very rigorous review process before they approved the project and gave the money. That's what I want to say, that didn't just they say, okay, fine,
Right.
some companies ask for money, just give the money.
Right,
It
no,
went through a
understood.
review process.
Well, the fact that Stony Brook University is involved in this, does give it a little bit higher of rating, I think. But again, I come back to, you gotta have to prepare yourself for a lot of questions that are
Certainly.
gonna be more
No, thank
emotional
you.
than
Thank you.
scientific,
What
you
you
know,
were
it's
telling us
really.
And this is also through, this state has 12 centers of excellence. One of the centers of excellence is the Advanced Energy Center, where Devinder also works. That's
Okay,
on the
yeah.
campus at Stony Brook.
Yeah.
That's what
So
my labs are.
that
Right.
adds.
The energy.
All right, very good.
So I
Thank
take
you.
it, putting up the periodic chart where all the elements
Right, right.
Understood,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Understood.
what are we gonna do is we're gonna prepare a safety package.
He's right.
Answering all the questions that
Yeah.
came up,
Yeah.
okay? And then we can submit that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there anything else otherwise?
Who knows?
Nothing we could think of right
Yeah,
now.
right.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the public will.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Somebody else should come
No,
up
no,
with
you know,
something.
that's the idea.
Right.
I know.
Yep.
I live here too, right? I want to be safe myself.
Yeah.
Here's
It's as
one.
simple as that. I'm a professor.
Yeah.
I don't own a company, believe me.
Right.
Here's-
I don't have any stock in hydroxide either.
Yeah.
So,
Here's a scenario, helicopter comes in, it lands on top of the tank. You know, somebody will bring that up.
Because we do have the helicopter landing
Right.
pad, a couple hundred.
so going back to your point then, if it's buried, we didn't even think of that.
Well, buried, the problem with buried is corrosion for any kind of steel. That's the
Right.
problem with any kind of buried.
I know.
But since you're producing
You can
gas,
code
I
it.
don't think we allow that to be buried, right? It has to be. low
There,
buried.
there are issues with buried tanks, no matter what. That's why we'll fuel oil tanks to take them out. They're making fiberglass,
Out of
so they're
fiberglass,
corrosion
yeah.
resistant.
Yeah, that's true.
But fiberglass would never
When
hold this
will
kind of
the-
pressure.
Right.
So
Right.
it's really, it has to be steel.
Containment.
You know, or steel out, for this instance, probably steel alloys.
Yep.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, that was great.
If you like, actually, I have a couple of copies of the.
We have it
You have it?
electronically, yeah, it's all good, thank you.
Look at this.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
We don't, number two is not something we care about.
No problem.
We don't need to be on the global map.
Yeah.
Right, understood, but some people.
Yeah.
And how is a large industry partnership gonna benefit the village? The village isn't making money, we're not getting.
There is an option.
So some of those pilots, some of those pilots.
Yeah, it's quick, it's quick, they're not here.
It's really, because like I said.
It's gonna be there.
They come flying in.
But this is,
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
this is
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
We're transferred on
Yeah.
page here to,
going to be demonstrating on this site is not at this time tied into the power.
No, it could readily. The first part of it. All right, great stuff.
Hello. We're good?
Hello again.
Hello. Okay.
Close.
We're getting close. Hopefully at the end. We have.
Power plant site?
So yeah, what we have prepared for you guys is right. This is 7 Deerfield Court.
Yep.
As the retaining system, right? The board's reviewed this, I think, several times. At this point, they've gotten their variances.
Great.
And they've gotten basically everything we've asked for.
Right.
So what we
Good.
did is, if the board is okay with everything. we
I
have a-
looked through that, looked.
Just do it?
I'm
Okay,
fine
so we have
with-
a
I mean,
full.
Did
Yeah.
everybody else look at?
Has everyone seen the FEAF Part 2 in the file?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you okay with how it's being prepared?
Yep.
Okay.
I have
So now we have a
no,
draft resolution.
okay.
Bill. We I guess we have to do the secret determination first. The only one I wanted to double check was number 5. I think, in retrospect, I think that should have been a no instead of a yes, impact on flooding, because flooding is more about flood zones, and I don't think this is in a flood zone.
Oh, shit, I don't think it is.
So that one might have been a no,
Okay,
which we can change, I can
make it a no.
make it a no.
But all the So nothing appears under that, or?
Yeah, it'll become blank. We check no. That's the only one.
Very good.
I think the rest are okay. So
Yeah.
Okay.
we'll just fix that.
So, I would like to make a motion to accept the secret review.
Could we
No.
the FEF Part 2 first? You accept the full environmental assessment
Okay,
form as amended.
accept the full environmental assessment form as amended.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now,
Him to do, I'm sorry. Pardon me.
and then the next one will
We're
be a
just
negative
expediting.
Right.
declaration of.
I'll make, oh my God, my brain just went, thank you. I'll make a motion to accept the negative declaration on the, or however.
The negative
Done.
declaration.
Yeah,
Neg
negative
deck-
declaration.
neg deck on the-
Pursuit, right? Yeah, it's pursuit to secret. I guess
Okay,
that's
what he said.
what I said.
Yes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution, any comments?
I'm
We're just-
almost done reading it.
Wait, where is that one?
Have an extra copy for it.
I need a copy.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened, but is that only one? Do we have any more copies of that?
I don't know if I have that. I do.
Oh,
I
okay.
Short?
Is this the one that was already built? And they-
Yes.
they did it and-
Yeah.
Everything, so that's why there's no performance bond, there's
And we
no.
got the concurrence by the engineer that it was built according to the plans.
This one, so this is one that we didn't get the engineering sign off, but this is one that staff has gone out with our engineering consultants,
right
and they
here.
were okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be in the very back of your packet.
This was close enough to get blown up by the hydrant on the side.
So the only condition we had was like the submission of the plans we could sign, which if needed, we could stamp it, but just,
Okay.
yeah. But this is the one, the language barrier you're trying to.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, that was this one.
Okay. Looks good.
They're very excited though. They sent us an email.
Very good.
They're very excited.
And did we
Good.
have the planting requirement on this one too? Were there any plantings on this?
There was no, this one, no. So this one it was a rebuilt, it was a wall that was already there. They rebuilt it,
There's no-
pretty much in the same location. It's a little different. It's more
And all
reinforced
the
though.
work's done and all the landscaping is restored.
Yeah.
And it's been there since
That looks
2020, last year.
Yep,
So it's been finished
25.
since last year, and that's when I originally went out there with the consultants.
This is
So.
the one that was 5 feet on the neighbor's property?
No, this one's it's 2 feet away from the neighbor's property, but
Right.
it's not, it's fully within their site. It's just been needed variances because it's 2 feet, it's a one
Right.
variance because it was 2 feet from the western
Property line.
property, which is 5 Deerfield.
All right. So I motion we accept the draft resolution.
As
I'll second. We didn't amend anything, so I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Yay.
Motion to adjourn?
I
I'll
so
second.
motion.
That was like instant.
Who was the second?
Gil.
I seconded.
Second, before the motion.
Oh my God.
Got that right.
Sorry.
Thank you.
That was good though.
The Knicks are winning at halftime.
I was gonna ask you that next
Yeah.
time. Good, good.
53-49. Oh, sorry, it's only halftime.
Well, still.
Oh, yeah, what is it?